and it's hauled in on the near sideline by Fossum. It'll be enough for a Carroll first down at the Linfield 34-yard line. Yeah, and that's just Kaloy keeping the play alive.
Right. There was good protection early, though, Jason. The offensive line, it's a four-man rush. They didn't bring any linebackers to that, so there's protection. But it collapsed a little bit. Guy got a hand on his jersey, and he was able to pull away from it and roll out to the right a little bit and find Fossum open along the sidelines for another big first down.
Kaloy at 6'1", 190.
Back in the Wildcat.
Dawson back there. He'll send Kaloy to the far sideline. Now Fossum comes in motion. Sipes and Joe Ferris, the other receivers. Dawson, wow. How quick getting through the line of scrimmage was Havili Ediaki there. He blew that up. He ran through the center, Connor McGree, like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, that or a misassignment between the center and two guards, not sure. But he came in unblocked. You know, and like you say, as quick as could be, no chance at all for Eric to do anything with the football.
So second down and 12. So the last couple of plays on the Wildcat for Dawson, he's lost yards. He hadn't lost yards all year before those two. So second and 12, 3.5 to play first quarter. Still no score here. Saints in Linfield territory at the 36-yard line.
To hustle up here on offense. The play
3
clock.
on the play clock. And well, we'll bring that up at the next chance we get, because as Kaloy has time, throws underneath, caught by Ryan Arnson out of the backfield. Arnson up across the 15 and hauled down at the 12-yard line of Linfield. A first down for Carroll in the red zone.
I just like the poise of Kobe Kaloy on this drive. You know, he's hanging in the pocket. That offensive line has shown some moxie and improvement already. I mean, there's plenty of time. Only a four-man rush. You know, Linfield might have to look to bring extra pressure if they think it's a passing situation. But, you know, great opportunity to scan the field, look at your reads, and find Arnston there in the slot for a big play.
So first and 10 Carroll at the Linfield 12 with 2:45 to go, and the Saints looking to get the first score of the day. Kaloy again back to pass. Looking to the end zone, and that's going to be overthrown. And Sipes, you know, as soon as he saw that ball go up in the air, he had stopped. He basically was running out of real estate in the checkerboard there, and it'll be second and 10.
Yeah, and Colby threw the ball where only the offense would have a chance. I think he saw the double coverage, and just as he's throwing, so he throws it out of bounds and not to give an opportunity for an interception. So that's a smart play by the young quarterback. And again, great protection. You watch that four-man, and there's plenty of time to throw the football there, so they're doing a good job.
Second down and 10 at the Linfield 12. Ferris out there with Kyle Pierce on the left side. They'll hand it off to Ali straight up the middle. Ali makes a shake and bake at the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Carroll College.
Yeah, the little inside zone there to the right, the offensive line with the big push to the right, and Major just hanging behind it and cut back. That's designed, you know, in a zone blocking scheme and offense, get that big momentum, cut it back to the left, and then wide open hole there. That is a very good drive, and it's much needed by this Carroll offense for confidence.
After the turnover.
Exactly.
And
set by the turnover.
An 80-yard drive. Troy Arnson to hold, and Josh Kraft now 2 for 2 on the air and extra points. And with 2:03 to go on the Bud Light scoreboard, first quarter, it is the Saints 7, the Wildcats of Linfield nothing. We're back in a minute. You're listening to Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Always looking for opportunities to grow your money by making simple changes. For instance, if you have a few extra dollars sitting in a checking or savings account, you could take advantage of our limited time CD special. Every little bit helps, and it's our job to help you get the biggest benefits with very little effort. All of our branches are working together to support your success. So give us a call or drop by. First Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
D.A. Davidson & Company, helping Montanans achieve their long-term financial objectives since 1935. As the largest financial full-service firm in the Northwest, ensuring that their clients are invested appropriately throughout their investing and retirement lifetime, giving you the confidence that your finances are keeping pace with the rest of your life. Maybe it's time you make your move to D.A. Davidson & Company, 40 West 14th Street, Helena, Artisan Block. Client-focused, community-connected. Member SIPC.
Carroll College football brought to you in part by your Montana Toyota dealers. John Washington Blogger Twist Realtor, award-winning realtor, Century 21 Heritage Realty, Ruckers Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Ruckers Furniture at America's Mattress Gallery and First Community Bank, working together for you. So Tim, Carroll goes on an 80-yard scoring drive. Don't have the exact plays of the drive, but a nice run by Major Ali, his second touchdown of the year. He's at a 13-yarder, now a 12-yarder, and that was a great job by Colby Kaloy. He kept the drive alive himself a couple of times, and then the Saints offensive line really gave him time to throw there at the end.
Yeah, up front, Alex Hoffman and J.D. Lyle, Connor McGree and Tanner Steele and Willie Clements, really did a good job in passing situations with that. Like I said, they're bringing a four-man front, but a good four-man front, and gave Kaloy ample opportunity on a couple of those throws. And good routes by the receivers, and the ability to read downfield and have time is huge in the passing game.
Carroll up 7-0, 2:15 to go in the first quarter, and good kickoff. Bounces at the 5 and then got past the return man. That was Keegan Weiss. Bounces into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback for Carroll College. And Linfield now 7-0, trailing, heading back out onto the field. It's unfortunate if you're a Linfield fan, because you had a great drive put together. You get down to second down and goal at the 7-yard line, and then all of a sudden it blows up on you. We'll talk about that when we come back. 2:15 to go on the Bud Light scoreboard. First quarter, Saints 7, Wildcats nothing. Back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Labor Day savings have been held over through Saturday at Ruckers Furniture. Shop Helena's largest in-stock selection of top-quality name-brand home furnishings at tremendous Labor Day savings. At Ruckers, you'll find sofas, sleepers, motion, leather, bedroom, dining room, desk, entertainment consoles, served to the most comfortable beds in Helena, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Don't miss Labor Day savings held over through Saturday at Ruckers Furniture in the America's Mattress Gallery, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
You want to go to a place you can trust for car care. Meinecke's got great reviews. Here's one of them.
Well, I have taken every vehicle I own to Meinecke to have work done, like replacing brakes and rotors, to working on air conditioning systems, and of course oil changing and servicing. They always discussed any problems there might be, but never made me feel like they were out to find problems just to make money. My name's Benita, and I choose Meinecke.
If your car is complaining about anything, visit your full-service Meinecke Car Care Center on Custer Avenue.
Wyatt Smith leads the offense back out for Linfield, who trails Carroll College 7-0, and takes the snap, hands it off to Chidabem, who stood up across the 25 by Chase Bowen, who leads the team in tackles with 20 this year, and Noli with a gain of about 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6 coming up with 2:01 to go here in the first quarter. And the Century 21 Heritage Realty press box, Jason Walker alongside Tim Norbeck, and Carroll College leading 7-0, and Smith right back at it with Noli again in the backfield, with trips to the near side left of the right hash mark where the ball is. And again the handoff to Noli, and again that quick speed through the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down right about the yardstick as Reese Quady in there, along with Peyton Sexy making his first appearance, 6'1 junior out of CMR. And that's enough for a first down, Tim.
Yeah, Carroll brought pressure from the backside, and Linfield was running the other way. Offensive lineman getting upfield and creating that extra alley for that big back to get through. And again, good positive yardage as he moves the ball upfield.
Noli, check that. That is the backup, Artie Johnson, 5'9", 194-pound sophomore. He's got a gain of 5 up to the 40. So Linfield, after the previous drive, threw it a lot. This one, Tim, so far, three plays, 3 run plays.
Right, and that's their philosophy, to be able to run the football, and opens everything else up for them. And they're doing it to a couple different backs.
2nd and 5.
Well.
So
Johnson stays back in the backfield again.
Now Artie Johnson, a sophomore that spells Chidabem Noli. 2nd and 5, a minute to go, or just under a minute, first quarter. Saints up 7-0. Smith's going to pass on this one. He's looking deep, and he overshoots the intended target, and that is wide receiver Tyler Torgerson, 5'10 junior from Puyallup, Washington.
They really like those post corner routes from the inside positions of the receivers. It really pressures your safeties, as they try to get a good read. That ball usually is the only opportunity to be caught by the offense if it's a safety guarding that inside slot. So a third down play to maybe stop this drive
3rd and 5, 42 seconds to go here in the quarter. Carroll up 7-0. Ball at the Linfield 40, and Smith, 4 wide receivers. Lucas to the short side, and it's almost picked off on the comeback by Isaiah King. The receiver, Laswell, fell down. That's the second time we've seen him slip today on the turf. But he fell, the ball bounced off of his hands, and Isaiah King almost came up with an interception.
That was a close interception.
And he would have been gone.
Right. Laswell getting up is probably what helped keep that as an incomplete, because he was trying to get back to his feet after slipping and got in the way of Isaiah King. So but another three, not 3 and out, but another stop by this Carroll defense.
Bollier back deep, stands at his own 15. A very, very end-over-end punt taken at the 10 by Bollier. Gets around one tackler and then brought down as he gets to maybe the 19-yard line, and that's where Carroll takes over. 27 seconds to play in the quarter, leading 7-0 here on the Bud Light scoreboard.
Good coverage by Brian Pullman, backup linebacker there. And again, Carroll trying to get wide on some of these special team issues. There's some team speed with this Linfield Wildcat team, Jason, as you saw. Any horizontal movement, they're able to rally. So that was great coverage on the punt. But again, Carroll offense out on the field after a stop by that Carroll defense.
For fans out listening, Linfield's speed on defense is equivalent to what Southern Oregon's speed on defense is like, and that's pretty fast. So Carroll with a 1st and 10, handoff to Ali, gets across the 20 and brought down at about the 23, a gain of 4. And that'll probably be the last play of the first quarter with the Saints leading 7-0. And just
again,
15 seconds to go.
I like with the offense, it's really a little bit different look up front physically, Jason, as we go into the quarter here. But there's no stalemates. I haven't seen any real stalemates other than in the Wildcat with Dawson a couple times. When they've run Major Ali in the backfield, he's had a seam to get 3 or 4 yards each time. And that's got to help Coach Howell and that offensive staff a little bit as they try to scheme and keep this defense, guessing. I mean, they saw that on that first drive, with some of the routes and pass plays. So I like what I saw in that first quarter. It's the best first quarter they've had all year.
And when we come back, we'll have the second quarter on the Bud Light scoreboard. After 1 in Helena, it's the Saints 7, the Wildcats of Linfield 0. Back after 1 minute. You're listening to Carroll College Football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
This is John Locker, Christmas Century 21. The real estate market is in full swing with homes selling very quickly. Quite honestly, there's a shortage of inventory. So if you're thinking of selling your home, now is a great time. Give me a call and I'll give you a market analysis so that your home can be optimally priced. Plus, I'll look your home over and help you decide what needs to be done to make sure it shows at its best. Then we can get it marketed with the help of the most widely recognized name in real estate, Century 21. Not only internet placements, but social media sites. Give me a call at 439-0650 if you want to experience relentless excellence.
It's football season! And a great way to enjoy games is with your friends at the Overland Express. The Overland has several big screen TVs for your viewing pleasure. The Overland also features those incredible dragon wings and all your favorite nachos, not to mention the big juicy burgers with all the trimmings. Amazing food, service that makes you feel special, and a comfortable laid-back atmosphere. It's football season at the Overland, 2250 11th Avenue. Come on in!
Welcome back to the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. Jason Walker, Tim Norbeck, Carroll College leading 7-0. On the Bud Light scoreboard, we head to the second quarter. And time of possession favored Carroll in that first quarter. Difference of a couple of minutes, but the Saints with the difference on the scoreboard right now. And they have a 2nd down and 6. Now moving from right to left, the ball in the near left hash mark. And Ali shifts from the right side of the quarterback Kaloy to the left, and the handoff to Ali. Cuts it up the middle, and he'll get very close to the 29-yard line, maybe across the 29, and that'll be
a first down.
I think it'll be a first down, depending on the mark.
And again, just inside zone, he waited for it to open up, and a little bit of delay step there. I like that when those backs are like that behind the big offensive lineman. They're not real tall. Major's not real tall, so he could, a little bit of that Le'Veon Bell stop and go, which is very helpful.
You should probably talk about a running back that actually is playing football. His offensive line not happy this week.
No, that stuff should stay in the locker room like they said in the paper. I'm not into the public fights amongst family.
1st and 10. Again, the handoff to Ali, left side. And a good pop laid on him at the just across the line of scrimmage as Duke Mackel comes up, 6-foot senior from San Diego.
Yeah, he filled the alley well, that safety did, after a 4-yard gain. And a lot of field there, but he made a great tackle.
Rocky Dickinson scoreless after 1 in Billings. Here it is 2nd and 6. Just underway, second quarter. Saints up 7-0. Ali still in the backfield with Kaloy, and Kaloy's going to back pass this time. The blitz comes, and the pass was tipped and then somehow hauled in by Ferris. He's going to lose yardage, about 3 yards. But, man, Linfield brought the house on that one, and a nice job by Kaloy just to be able to get it off.
And that was a good offensive call. We got the outside screen set up. We get the ball there, but we don't get any of the offensive linemen. That's the whole key after a count or two. To get on your angles, to get to the side on that wide receiver screen. We had the right call on offensively because they brought the house. They brought both inside linebackers, and a loss of 3.
So 3rd and 9, back at the 30. 13:05 to go in the half. Saints up 7-0. Kaloy will work with Ali in the backfield. He'll look across the middle to throw, and it is picked off, intercepted by Mackel. And Mackel's still on his feet, and then he follows down on his own. He got tripped up by the 28-yard line, but that just overthrew the receiver, and then it was right into the hands of Mackel, who was playing the safety position. Came in. I mean, it was like, hello. I'm surprised he didn't drop it. It was so wide open for him.
Yeah, and it's just indecision on him throwing the ball there. It was pretty good coverage. Major Ali was actually open on the sideline here on a little wheel route. He didn't even look that way. I know he's not one of the major receiving backs, but he was open and just kind of forced it, and big turnover deep in Carroll territory.
And Kaloy's 3rd interception of the year sets up Linfield with a 1st and 10 at the Carroll 28. Saints up 7-0, 12:50 to play first half. Wyatt Smith with Noli in the backfield behind him. They're both in the backfield, but Noli standing deeper. And they'll hand it off to Noli. He'll get across the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard gain.
Yeah, wide zone look to the left there, and Cole Greff tracking it down from his backside tackle position.
How about Cole Greff? And he came on last year and earned a starting role this year, and he's played so well for Carroll College.
Yeah, that's a good play from the backside.
Greff, the junior, 6'4", 270-pounder. Now 2nd down and 8, ball at the 26. Look at the center just directing traffic. That big boy in the middle, Gabe Maharo. Smith's going to go end zone, looking, and that's going to be a pass interference as Tony Madsen basically tackled Aiden Wilder before the ball got there, and then the ball kicked up into the hillside, but it'll be a 1st and goal coming up for Linfield after the penalty, and that's the 3rd pass interference, Tim, that we've seen on Carroll in the last game plus in the end zone or near it.
Yeah, and they're there in coverage, but they just get locked up and grabbing an arm or something there in front of that official is going to draw the penalty each time.
In Missoula, 3-3 ball game. Grizz and the Drake Bulldogs.
They played one series.
1st and 10 at the 11. Handoff to Noli. Evades one tackle in the backfield and gets up to the 10-yard line, a gain of a yard with under 12 minutes to play here first quarter, and the Saints up 7-0.
And they're really trying to develop, to establish the run there, especially to the left, and Carroll's defensive linemen, continue to get penetration and lead to short gains by this veteran back of Linfield. No Lee, I mean he's a good back.
That game in Missoula's in the second quarter as Smith's going to roll to his right, look to throw left, now rolls out of the pocket, being chased by Peterson, and runs out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. So 3rd and long coming up with 11:23 to play here in the first half.
That's a coverage, almost a coverage sack there, Jason. Great job by the secondary. He didn't have anybody, stayed in the pocket, then rolled to the left and able to force him out of bounds with no gain there as he tried to scramble. So
3rd and 10 at the 11. Saints up 7-0. Another big 3rd down for Carroll's defense. They've answered the bell so far today. Smith now with Rule, the back, 3rd string running back. Smith, one step, end zone. It's tipped away and then falls incomplete. Good coverage by Beaulieu. The pass intended for Torgerson, and Torgerson actually almost came down with it laying down on the ground, but Beaulieu with great coverage.
Yeah, Ryan is right there, and it's a fight for the ball once it arrives, and he tips it up, and it falls to the ground, but an opportunity to almost come up with it. But a great defensive play by Ryan Beaulieu on that, force a field goal here for the Wildcats.
Willie Warren was 16 out of 18 from field goals a year ago, 51 his longest. The ball is down from the left hash mark. The kick is up, and the kick is no good.
Another great bend but no break there by this Carroll defense after a pass interference penalty that gave Linfield a 1st down. So, that is a lot of momentum change there. We saw that with the first turnover in the end zone for Linfield. Now they have great field position after an interception and not able to do much with it, close down with a penalty, but to hold them to a field goal and they missed that, it says a lot about this Carroll defense.
And we're going to get a timeout on the field. 11:19 to play first half on the Bud Light scoreboard. Saints 7, Wildcats nothing. We're back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
If you love reliability, you'll love a Subaru from Placer Motors. Over 98% of Subarus sold in the last 10 years are still on the road. One favorite of drivers is the Subaru Crosstrek. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, sleek new styling, and versatile raised roof rails, the completely redesigned 2018 Crosstrek brings rugged style to any drive. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Start a love affair by test driving a Subaru Crosstrek from Placer Motors.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
Need a lift? The folks at A1 Rental can give you one with all the tools and equipment to get the summer jobs done with ease, like ladders, scaffold, bucket and scissor lifts, pressure washers, paint sprayers, and even deck sanders. A1 Rentals is a place you want to visit when you need to get the job done. A1 Rentals on Cedar Street next to Party Plus.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
7-0 Carroll leading Linfield. 11:19 to play second quarter. Here in the Century 21 Heritage Realty press box is Carroll College after a missed field goal. Cody Calloy back out with the 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Quick handoff to Ali. Waits for it's almost like a counter play, Tim, there, and he gets across to the 22-yard line before he was stood up, but he waited for a pulling guard to come through and then to the left, and he went to the right.
Yeah, it was actually Eric Dawson pulling from that wing position there and kicking out, and the linebacker, Pipitone, thought he was going to make a play. All of a sudden there's a big collision with Eric Dawson, and Major steps in there for a couple yards.
Just got a message up. We talked about on that first punt that Brock Klosterman went down with a knee injury, and he's been sitting on that training bench with ice on that knee since then, so we wish him the best. As Ryan Arnson takes the handoff, gets across the 25 to the 26. It'll be 3rd and about 4 coming up for Carroll with just under 10.5 to play here in the second quarter, and Carroll up 7-0.
Yeah, a little inside handoff again there to leave manageable 3rd down for Carroll here, 3rd and 4. That's too bad about Klosterman. You talked to his parents, and I'm sure they're pretty high on him as a linebacker.
They made a 10-day road trip, spent a couple of days up in the Flathead, and you look out in the tailgate, that's their big RV out there, 55-footer.
That's too bad. We hope the best for him.
Fake the handoff to Ali. Calloy rolling out to his left, fires, and oh my gosh, a one-hand catch on the sideline. Joe Ferris coming back the opposite way. His body was gone. He reaches out with the right hand, hauls it in, and it's a first down, Carroll at the 40.
Add that one to the highlight film there. One arm bringing it in, keeping his feet in. And again, I like the design, roll out, offensive lineman pulled out in front, and Colby had plenty of time, just balls, carrying a little bit on him. He just got to follow through. That'll bring the nose of the football down, but we'll take that completion.
First and 10, Carroll at the 40. 9:30 to go in the half. Carroll up 7-0 as Ali. And Ali, and that'll be a gain of about 4, but he's had really nice running lanes here in the first quarter plus so far.
Yeah, especially inside with Connor McGree and J.D. Lyle and Tanner Steele. They're creating those inside alleys. There hasn't been a lot of the outside zone look yet early here in this half, mostly in between the tackles, and they've been positive yards each time.
Well, the stats has Ali with 114 yards, but I don't think that's right. Well, it's unofficial. It is second down and 6, just under 9 minutes to go. That play got blown up. It was an awkward snap, and then Kaloy had to kind of reach over his right shoulder and one-hand it, and Arnson sitting there waiting to take the snap, and in the end, it's a loss of 2.
And I almost thought there was procedure up front with the line, with the cadence. That must have been off with the cadence, and everybody slow off of the block or off of the snaps, messing up that play.
Go ahead.
They were in a 2 tight end set there, so they were looking to run the football. You see a lot of that. They bring in Kyle Harrington to play the other tight end, and they have confidence in being able to run the football.
3rd and 7, 8:10 to go in the half. 7-0 Carroll. 3 wide receivers. Kaloy looking for Dawson across the middle, and it's dropped. You don't see that too much. Eric Dawson has some great hands, but he was he heard some footsteps coming from Peter Finley, the Rover Jr. out of Yelm, Washington, and it'll be a punt for Carroll.
Yeah, good play design. I'm not sure he got the first down. They were right there on coverage. I'm sure still a punting situation, but you like to see those catches made, especially from Eric, who's, has proven his mettle with his hands catching the football.
So Kevik on to punt for the 3rd time today. Little wobbler that's going to hit at the 25 and bounce down to the 19-yard line, and that is where Linfield will take over with 7:51 to play in the half, trailing 7-0. And we are going to get a timeout on the field. So 7:51 to go, first half on the Bud Light scoreboard. It's the Saints 7, the Wildcats nothing. Back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
The house is so stuffy, it's probably all that smoke.
I know. It's hard to breathe.
There's another smell also. Did you change the kitty litter box?
That's not my job. That's your other son's job.
We've got to do something. I can't take it.
What can we do? We can't open the windows.
I wonder if 3 brothers can help.
Great idea. I've got their number. 449-4343.
Yes, 3 Brothers Plumbing and Heating can help with York air purification systems and humidifiers. Quality products from York installed with confidence.
3 Brothers is there.
When trains were the go-to mode of transportation, people demanded a clean atmosphere, a friendly crew, and a comfortable stay. The Money Train is on track with their staff to keep that same old-fashioned friendly attitude to greet you each time you walk into their casino. So grab a drink and watch the game and join the iRewards to win extra cash. Then enjoy the early bird and night owl rewards, drawings every 30 minutes, happy hour, and the best new and classic games across from Murdoch's. All aboard the Money Train. The Money Train Casino.
Welcome back, Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. 7:51 to go first half. Carroll College leading 7-0 over Division III power Linfield. Linfield 9-2 the last 2 years each. 62 straight winning seasons. An 81% winning percentage over that time frame as Smith hands it off to
Johnson's back
Johnson.
in there, tailback. Again, not much yardage with the with the inside run with Linfield. They're going fast again, but that defensive line has done some very good things for Carroll.
And this is an interesting, and I'll ask you this after this next play. 7.5 to play in the half. Saints up 7-0, 2nd and 9. Smith, audibles. has 4 wide receivers, shifts Johnson to behind him. Plenty of time on the play clock. And finally, Mike Van Diest is going to take a timeout. So let me ask you this real quick. As you know, this is a non-conference game. It's an upper-level opponent, you know, Division III NAI. But, you know, Carroll, many felt probably coming in, not much of a chance in this game. But this is the type of game where they can challenge themselves, not from the coaching staff or anything like that, but internally to say, hey, you know what, we've got something to prove against a very good football team.
Yeah, we're playing this storied program on our field, and you know, a couple of tough losses early. Here's a chance to show our fans and even the coaches, you know, what we really are capable of doing, and they're showing that to this point. You know, they've done some great things on both sides of the ball. You know, they've forced a turnover, and they've given up a turnover, which we don't like to see, but they've also you know, tightened up when they've had to.
Yeah, forced a missed field goal, and basically a chip shot field goal, really I think it was about a 26-yarder. But you know, this defense, you know, and we've seen this from Carroll for years, that a strong defense leads to confidence for that offense.
Right. And you see some different bodies in there on that defensive front. 94's Garrett Kokab, and Peyton Sexy's back, you know, at that end position, and you know, so Coach Van Diest is doing the same. He's rotating some defensive linemen in there as well, and they're getting the job done.
Well,
right
you
now.
know, because of the smoke, it's made kind of a muggy day here. It's, you know, it's almost 80 degrees, but you're going to see a lot of different guys rotate, I think. And right now, Linfield facing a 2nd down and 9, 7:12 to play, first half, trailing 7-0. Well, pressure from Quady is picked up, and the pass complete to Wilder, just shy of the first down marker. And it will be 3rd and about 3 coming up. We'll call it 3rd and 2.
A deep out route, great tackle out there by the corner to hold it to a 3rd down play. Linfield's offensive front back stayed in to help there with the linebacker blitz from Quady, able to get it off. So 3rd short.
Just under 7 minutes to go in the half. Carroll up 7-0. They bunch the line of scrimmage. Time to throw for Smith, and he's got the completion up across the 30 to the 35 before finally knocked out of bounds by McBride. Galt is Keegan Weiss, 5'7" junior, but a nice gain there of about 15. It'll be a first down for Linfield at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, they just drug Weiss in front of the linebackers there from left to right, dumped it to him, and then he was able to get more yardage up the sideline for a big gain.
6:30 to go, second quarter, 7-0 Carroll, and Smith again back to pass. Oh, Peterson was just getting held.
That was a hold there.
The pass complete on the near sideline to Sione Atuikaho.
Yeah, and Cicino there with a chance to make a tackle, and he breaks off the tackle to get that extra yardage, but yeah, definitely some jersey there in a hand.
Yeah. We're under 6 to go. 2nd and 2. The ball at the Saints 49. And Smith will roll to his left. A designed rollout. Throws sideline. Caught. And hauled in by Weiss again. And that'll be a first down for Linfield at the Saints 41.
Yeah, so Linfield just a little bit mixing it up on offense here. Instead of the straight pocket passer, they're rolling Smith either way and using the out routes and sidelines, for nice gains.
Linfield actually outgaining Carroll right now, 104 to 98, but trailing on the scoreboard, 7-0 with 5:30 to go, second quarter. 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Saints 41, and Smith again will drop back to pass. Again, plenty of time, and he'll throw it out of bounds as Bo Meyer was almost pulled down on the hold, and everybody in the stadium could see that one. And I know you can call holding on every play, but that one was pretty obvious. But no call, but Meyer still chased down Smith, forced him to throw it out of bounds at 2nd and 10.
And that's tough. There's really no receiver in that area, but he's out of the tackle box, and that's the call there, or the rule.
Well, it made it out of bounds, so that's right. Okay.
And past the line of scrimmage.
Yep. So 2nd and 10 for Smith.
Screen.
Johnson takes the screen, takes off down the far sideline. A flag comes in, and well, this one's probably coming back. So he's brought down by Melton at the 15. But a nice play call. Smith took quite a shot, but the screen went to Johnson, and he took off like a bolt of lightning down the sideline, but it's coming back because of a hold.
It is. Similar to the play Carroll had on offense, Coach Van Diest had dialed up some heavy pressure stunts, and they had the screen call on. But a hold will negate that big gain.
Back to the 49 after the spot foul. So it'll be second and about 18. And by the way, Major Ali with 42 rushing yards. We have a new stats crew working with us today, so A, they don't take jokes real well, and B, we're going to give them a lot of love because they are new. So
and they can only get better. So that's good. Just making sure they have the ball set at the right yard mark from the penalty, it looks like here with the officials.
The interim SID, Eric Anderson, trying to figure out the computer system. So second and 18, back at the 49. 5 minutes to go in the half. Saints up 7-0. 4 wide receivers for Wyatt Smith with Chedabem Noli in the backfield, and Smith will throw. He'll step up, find Laswell, who took a big hit, backed up about 4 yards, and then turned it back upfield. Got back across the original line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 9 coming up for Linfield, but you got about half the yardage back, and that's kind of what you want on that situation.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a little bit of yardage, make it manageable 3rd down, but the Carroll defense rallied there. There were 3 or 4 purple jerseys after he caught the ball to make sure there wasn't any breakaway on that play.
So Smith with 3rd and 9, 4:30 to go in the half, has 4 wide receivers. Here's the snap, plenty of time to throw. Fires, caught by Laswell, and forward progress is going to be very close to the line of scrimmage, or to the first down marker. It's going to be about a half a yard shy. So we've seen Linfield go for it on 4th down once today. That resulted in an interception for McBride Galt and led to Carroll 7 points. But they're going to go for it 4th and 1 at the 32.
Yeah, Linfield's front did a good job because there was linebacker pressure again on the stunt and plenty of time. But again, a good tackle there with the momentum. Give yourself a chance defensively to stop them and not give up the first down. But it is 4th and 1.
Well, we've seen the Saints defense all day. This could be a big one. They're going to play action, roll out, caught, first down, and that is the big tight end, Sione Atui Kaho, 6'3 junior, 230-pounder, and a nice play call because you're expecting either the quarterback sneak, quarterback Wyatt Smith up behind center. You had Noli in the backfield, and a heavy kind of set, but a nice rollout.
Yeah, they just drug the tight end. He was wide open, and if not, there was plenty of green grass for Smith to get the first down with his feet as well. So they had a couple opportunities there on 4th down.
1st and 10 at the 14. A handoff to Noli off the right side.
They hold again. They got it this time.
And that'll negate a gain of about 2.
Yeah, Alex Thomas, he had got penetration there on that play, and the referee saw that rather quickly.
So the hold looked like the right tackle, Duncan Matson maybe, but backs up Linfield with 3:01 to go, trailing 7-0 on the Bud Light scoreboard. Coming up on the Convoy Supply halftime show, we will talk with former Linfield head coach and former NFL scout Ed Langsdorf. He'll join us. Longtime family friend of the Etcharts. 3 minutes to go in the half. Smith with all the receivers bunched together near the right hash mark. 2 on either side. Trailing 7-0. They have a 1st and 20 back at the 24. Across the middle, broken up by Thomas. And Alex Thomas, the following the wide receiver Keegan Weiss, and at the last minute he put his big paw up and knocked it down, and it'll be second and 20.
Yeah, he followed him in man coverage the whole way, read the quarterback's eyes, the last minute put up his left hand and knocked that ball away. Good defensive play by Thomas on a good receiver.
So second down and 20, 2:48 to go in the half. 7-0 Carroll in the lead. Linfield looking for their first points of the year.
Screen again.
Set up to Rule. There's a block in the back, but a nice tackle from Bollier coming out and taking Rule out at the knees, dropping him at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 20, actually a loss of a yard. 3rd and 21 coming up for Linfield.
Yeah, Ryan did a great job, because when those linemen are coming at you in that screen, the idea is to try to blow that up or get underneath that block as quick as you can, and he used his speed to do that and trip them up.
So 3rd and long for the Linfield Wildcats with 2:10 to go, first half and counting. 7 on the play clock as Smith backs up to the 30. The ball's at the 25. We're going to get a false start, so Linfield, you could tell, it's a little different than Western playing their first game last week. They looked pretty crisp, but Linfield, aside from a nice couple of drives, they've looked a little out of sync, especially on this drive.
Yeah, and that was a good penalty. I was watching out here on the perimeter with the cornerback Drew Melton and the coaches on the sidelines. Not quite sure they were on the same page in terms of coverage, and so that penalty helps allow that defense to get set, know exactly what they want to do on this 3rd and very long.
3rd and 26 back at the Saints 30. 2 minutes to play in the half. Carroll leading 7-0. Smith's going to audibilize. I love watching the offensive line, and especially the centers. As Smith has plenty of time to throw. He'll throw in zone, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage by Melton out there on the wide receiver, Max Novak. And it'll be 4th down and long coming up for Linfield.
Yeah, a good ball again, allowing Novak to get his hands on it there in the end zone. But there's good coverage. A little bit too much time to throw the ball there. Smith had all the time in the world to air that one out. So 4th and 26.
Right. And they're going to go for it at the Saints 30, so you can't punt. You're in no man's land.
And they sub, so the umpire's given Carroll a chance to set.
Rocky leading 7-3 at Dickinson, or over Dickinson.
They're going to delay a game. I think that was designed, delay a game.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe try to
well, maybe not.
Pooch punt, I'm not sure. It is a delay, though.
I don't think that was designed the way that Smith is reacting.
Although I saw him look back when it was at 1 or so, and because he actually turned back to look at the clock behind him instead of the one in front of him.
So now it's 4th and 31 at the 35. Minute 52 to go in the half. Linfield, as Smith goes deep, end zone double coverage, and intercepted in the end zone. Tony Madsen, second pick of the day for the Saints in the end zone. And, that one actually is more like a punt. Right. If it's Mike Van Diest on the other side of that, he's not too upset with that interception because, it's a touchback anyway if you punt it. So,
yeah, but just going for the deep ball, and Carroll's defense well prepared on that. 2 defenders in the area. There was, very little chance of the Linfield receiver coming down with that ball. So
Tony Madsen, the 6'2 junior out of Loyola High School, comes down with the interception. Second one of the day for the Saints, who take over. For 1:45 to go. They have 2 timeouts remaining, leading 7-0 here, first half. And trips out to the right. Ryan Arnson in the backfield with Colby Kaloy. And they'll hand it off to Arnson up the middle. He'll get up to the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
And again, that designed inside zone where wait for those blocks to develop to the right and then cut behind it for 6 yards.
75 seconds to play in the half. Saints up 7-0, and they have the ball 2nd and 4. Again, the handoff to Arnson. That one almost scored it out. Trying to get to the 30 for the first down. He'll be about 2 yards shy, and now Carroll takes a timeout.
Actually, Linfield, I think, taking that timeout to try to force Carroll to punt.
We got another Wildcat on the ground, slow to get up. That is Tyler Bergeron. And still on the knee, and now he makes his way up. He's going to try to hobble off on his own, but a timeout on the field, and we'll take it with him. 1:04 to go in the half on the Bud Light scoreboard. The Saints leading the Wildcats 7-0. Back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Get ready for big savings during Toyota's Touchdown event. It's the event where every car is the star. And of course, trucks, vans, and SUVs play too. Because Toyota is offering cashback savings up to $3,500 on 2018 Sienna vans. $2,500 cashback on 2018 RAV4s with your choice of gas or hybrid. Or $3,000 cashback on the 2018 Tundra Crew Max. Plus, most Toyota models now offer Toyota Safety Sets, a complete suite of active safety features at no additional cost. And every new Toyota is backed by Toyota Care, Toyota's no-cost maintenance plan. There's also special leases or APR interest savings on nearly every Toyota model. So join the winning team, Team Toyota, and take advantage of big touchdown event savings. Get full details at buyatoyota.com or see Toyota of Helena today. Toyota, let's go places. All financing approved credit through Toyota Financial Services. Dealer documents very good dealer. For more details, call 1-888-491 Toyota. Offers in October 1st, 2018.
KIMO HD 3000, K235BW Helena, your home for the Saints. This is Sports 94.9.
64 seconds to play first half. Carroll College leading 7-0 over Linfield. Carroll with the ball, 3rd and 2 at their own 28. 2 timeouts remaining. Kaloy behind center with Dawson shifting in motion from left to right. Kaloy will turn, hand it off to Major Ali, who's got the first down, and more up across the 35 and brought down to the 38, a gain of 10, and it's a first down for Carroll. That'll stop the clock momentarily with 58 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, again, great design up front, and we've talked about it this whole half. Much different mentality of the offensive line of Carroll, maintaining blocks, second level, and positive yards on most run plays.
So 1st and 10 Saints, now 40 seconds to play. Kaloy looks deep near sideline and throws it out of bounds. Way overshot Ferris. And good coverage anyway by Marquise Paralat.
Yeah. Just looking for the long ball on first down. Not a bad opportunity there, using the sidelines. And if it's not there, it's out of bounds. So
Pareliat. 35 seconds to go in the half. It is 2nd and 10 at the Saints 38. Carroll up 7-0. And running the 2-minute drill with 2 timeouts remaining. They'll stack 3 receivers to the near sideline. The ball in the near left hash mark for Kaloy. Well, pressure comes. He escapes out of it, throws, and it's incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Shane Sipes. And again, good coverage by Duke Mackel, who had an interception earlier this half. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Carroll. Now 28 seconds to go.
Yeah, good job of Colby. I mean, good protection early, and defensive end comes around the corner. But he's able to, shake it off and give himself an opportunity to throw the football. I like his footwork.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore from Pasco, Washington. 150 yards in his debut last week. Now trips to the right on 3rd and 10. Saints up 7-0. And they'll just hand it off to Ali, and Carroll's going to just try to run this clock out for half. Linfield's going to take a timeout.
Yeah.
Linfield will get the ball to start the second half. Carroll College football brought to you in part by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Placer Motors, your Helena Subaru dealer, is Placer Motors, family owned for over 75 years. And Furniture Showroom, why pay more? Every day is a great day to buy new home furnishings at Furniture Showroom. So 22 seconds to go. Saints have a 4th and 9, and they will punt it away. So Linfield will get it with around 15 seconds or so. They'll have maybe 1 or 2 shots to the end zone to try to get it on the board before half. And then, Tim, they get the ball to start the second half. So, and speaking of halftime, don't forget on the Convoy Supply halftime show, we will talk with former Linfield coach Ed Langsdorff, who coached in the early 90s, was also a scout with the San Diego Chargers, not just a scout, he was like the scout for the San Diego Chargers. Also had a son that went on to have a still current nice assistant coaching career. So
and
4th and 9.
I'm sure this punt will use the boundary, or make sure that we keep
definitely
possibility of
not a return. Yeah. Well, Kevick's going to boot it over the head. Wow. That's going to hit at the 10 and roll into the end zone, but he outshot Corey Day by 20 yards. He got a good burst of wind behind him, and it was a nice punt anyway.
Yeah, 62-42 on the net there, but that's all right. No chance of return. Linfield has one timeout.
And 14 seconds to go 80 yards, so they'll probably, you look at probably running just a run play and head into the locker room, regroup, and make your adjustments.
They might take one shot with one timeout, but looks like they're just going to, like you say, kneel the ball here and go to the locker room.
They're lined up in that so-called victory formation to just take a knee here. And that is exactly what Wyatt Smith will do. And we will head to the locker room. Well, we won't, but the teams will. And the rest are going to get together with Alex Thomas and the big left tackle, Alex Hoffman. They were a little chippy there right at the end of that play.
Yeah, Thomas, being a little physical there, knowing that they're going to down the ball. So.
And that, not Alex Hoffman. He plays for the Saints. It was Duncan Matson and Alex Thomas. But it is halftime in Helena. We're on the Bud Light scoreboard. Carroll College leading Linfield 7-0. Back with the Convoy Supply halftime show. After this, you are listening to Carroll College football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
We're always looking for opportunities to grow your money by making simple changes. For instance, if you have a few extra dollars sitting in a checking or savings account, you could take advantage of our limited time CD special. Every little bit helps, and it's our job to help you get the biggest benefits with very little effort. All of our branches are working together to support your success. So give us a call or drop by. First Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's a close game, with the Sellers having a slight edge on the Buyers right now.
That's right, Buck. That's all the more reason to go with the home team advantage. Capital City Realty and Property Management.
If you're thinking about selling, you may as well go with the home team. Did you know they're experts at pricing your property to fit the neighborhood and the overall market?
Just go to their website, and they'll put together a winning game plan for you.
Capital City Realty and Property Management. When service matters, call the home team.
Labor Day savings have been held over through this Saturday at Furniture Showroom. That's right, you still have time to shop Furniture Showroom for fantastic sale prices. Choose from our great assortment of sofas, love seats, recliners, reclining sofas, sectionals, entertainment consoles, tables, extremely affordable therapeutic beds, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Don't forget, Labor Day savings have been held over through this Saturday at Furniture Showroom, 2200 North Last Chance Gulch in Helena.
As one of the original franchise pioneers, the Century 21 brand has taken great pride in being the most recognized brand in real estate globally for 2 straight decades. We're on a mission to defy mediocrity and deliver extraordinary experiences. As the most recognized brand in real estate for 2 decades straight, no less, Century 21 is perfectly positioned to provide you, the buyer or seller of real estate, an outstanding experience. If you would like to see what relentless excellence is like, give me, John Lagerquist, a call at 439-0650.
Hear ye, I bringeth thee a message from a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom. Oh. Dilly dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
From airbags to crumple zones, manufacturers require safety and 5-star ratings. If your vehicle isn't repaired to manufacturer's specifications, it's no longer 5-star rated. Capital Collision Center always repairs your vehicle to manufacturer's requirements. Montana State law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Helena's only Ford F-150 aluminum, Honda, Nissan, Acura, GM, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Hyundai certified repair shop. Capital Collision Center on Euclid. Another exciting announcement will come soon.
It's halftime. For
for a recap of the first half. Back to the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. Here's Jason Walker and Tim Norbeck.
Welcome back. 7-0 Carroll College leading Linfield here at the half, and we'll break down the first half as good as it was, especially for Carroll. But we are pleased and honored to be joined now in the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box by the former head coach, former assistant coach, former NFL scout, Ed Langsdorf. Welcome to Helena.
Pleased to be here. I've been here many times before, but I've only been in this stadium. I think this is my third time in the stadium, and what a great day for football, and what a great game.
We were kind of joking before we hit the air, but you were an assistant in '86 at Linfield when Tim was the starting center for Carroll in that playoff game for the Wildcats.
It was a memorable game for the Wildcats for sure, and I remember some of the legends from Linfield or from Carroll that were on the field at that time. Coach Petrino, the head coach, and Bobby, his son, was an assistant. Paul was the quarterback, and several other great Carroll players were in that ball game. It was a heck of a game.
So you were at Linfield as the assistant, but the head man from 92 to 95. The 62 consecutive winning seasons. Was there any pressure even back in the 90s with the head coaching?
You know, the streak, so to speak, has kind of been on its own, and but when I took over as a head coach, I was well aware of the fact that if this ended on my watch, I was in trouble. And I remember we played down at Oregon Tech, our 5th game of the season, and it was a really close game, hard fought, and we won. And I just remember thinking, phew, at least they've made it through this first year. And then it's kind of done okay. And there was another year, would have been 4 years later, 5 years later, we had another 5-4 season that was real close. But since then, you know, they've just had good players and good coaches and good continuity, and it's the longer it goes, the more impressive it gets.
It is. It's really an impressive run that has taken place, and we talked in the pregame just in the last decade, you know, to see where the rankings are for each of those teams through the years, and you know, the number of playoff appearances. I mean, it really is a great streak, and to think it's for all of college football in the United States, and it's a small college program that is leading the way with that is really tremendous.
Yeah, it really is. And it was fun for me to be a part of that for 20 years, that's for sure.
Well, and people might not know this, you know, because you're associated with Linfield, but you're a Glasgow Scotty.
I am a Glasgow Scotty, and I don't didn't play with much distinction, but I think I was an all-state player that my senior year, but I think there was only 8 schools. You know, so it's more like being an all-league player, I think, more than anything else.
They're probably Class A at that time, though.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we played Glendive, Sydney, Miles City, Lewiston, Havre, Great Falls Central, but they might have been I'm not sure if they were in a different division. Laurel was a Class A at the time, Billings Central, Hardin. I remember playing all those.
That was a good league.
It really was.
Glasgow had some great teams. I know later on all the Connors brothers played there, and Bobby's actually the superintendent of schools there right now.
Right.
But
we had a couple guys, Ted Shy and Roy Robinson. Roy Robinson played at the University of Montana, went on to have a CFL career. And Ted Shy, I'm not sure where he played, but those were 2 kids that came after me. Darrell Hewitt was the head coach at the time, and Glasgow had some real good teams. We had not been very good up until the time, I think my senior year we might have been 5-4, but that was one of the first winning seasons we'd had in several years. And then after that, Darrell Hewitt, I think they got in some state playoff games and that sort of thing. So
and then Ted had a long career coaching and teaching in Malta, and his son just finished a great career last year at the University of Montana.
I remember seeing the name on the roster.
Wore their jersey like you guys have a jersey deal. His son was part of that. So great history from northeastern Montana.
For sure.
Yeah, sure. You're a Montanan, but after Linfield, then you went on with a nice scouting career with the San Diego Chargers, and this is, I mean, take us through that. I mean, leaving college football to go to the pros.
Well, it was kind of a funny deal. My last year at Linfield was 1999, And I was down in San Diego. Mike Riley, the head coach at San Diego at the time, had coached at Linfield. So we had coached together at Linfield for 3 years. And he had gone on to USC and some other places, CFL. And so he was coaching down there. And so I went down during their off-season program. It was in May, I think. And stayed with Mike. And I was just doing some research, basically, on some offensive stuff. And I was out at practice one day, and Mike came by and said, Billy Devaney would like to speak with you. I didn't know who Billy Devaney was or anything else. Turned out he was the director of pro personnel. And Bobby Bethard had just retired, and another scout that they had moved on. And so they were looking for people in the scouting profession. And so I went and talked with Billy, and they said, we have a scout position open. Would you be interested? And I didn't really know what to say about that. I'm pretty happy at Linfield, but I was teaching, coaching, recruiting, all that sort of thing, and I was getting tired of teaching and recruiting. Wasn't getting tired of coaching. So I said, well, yeah, maybe. So anyhow, we talked it over. Long story short, they offered me the job, and I took it. And I was a little bit nervous because I was there 1 year, and then Mike Riley got fired, and he was my connection. And you know how volatile the NFL is. I didn't know whether I was going to have a job or what, but I ended up staying there for 16 years, 13 full-time, and the last 3 were part-time. And so it was a good way to finish my work career. I really enjoyed football, and so it was a way to stay involved in football without coaching football. So it was a good deal.
And the weather, too.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the weather doesn't hurt. Ed Langsdorff joining us here on the Convoy Supply Halftime Show. Your son has had a pretty nice career as well, and really following Mike Riley around.
He really has, yeah. He went to Boise State initially and stayed there for 3 years. He was a starting quarterback for, I think, 3 or 4 of the first 5 games. Got hurt, and they had a freshman kid come in, Tony Hildy, who had been the offensive player of the year in the state of Oregon the year before. And they inserted him in the lineup, and I think he went to Montana and threw for 3 million yards and 5 touchdowns and won the game. And so he was going to be the starter going forward. And so Danny had to make a decision whether to stay at Boise as a backup. But he came to Linfield, played for me for 2 years. And then his coaching career began at Cal Lutheran. He was there for a year and got on with Mike Riley a year after that. Was a GA there for Mike at Oregon State for 2 years. I think he went to Canada for 3 years with the CFL, Edmonton Eskimos. Then he went to New Orleans for 4 years. And then when Mike left, when Mike got the job at Oregon State again the second time, then Danny came on and was a coordinator there for 9 years. And then spent a year with the New York Giants coaching Eli Manning, which was a real thrill for him and a good learning experience. And then when Riley went to Nebraska, he asked Danny to come along, and Danny wasn't sure he wanted to do that. He kind of weighed it, but it was a good deal for him in a lot of different areas, and it didn't turn out great, but it was good at the time.
Well, you go from New York City to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a little bit of a difference, right?
But he's enjoyed every one of his stops along the way. He's at Oregon right now as in one of those analyst positions, and they're off to a good start this year. And it's not his ideal job, but he's with a good bunch of people. He really likes the head coach, and he's close friends with the offensive coordinator and works closely with him. And so he's enjoying that experience, and hopefully something good will come of it.
With the game of football, I mean, you've seen it a long time. Do you like where it's headed? I mean, what are your thoughts on the concussion issue and just everything involved?
Well, that's a good question. There's so much money involved in big-time football now that it sort of changes what maybe many of us wanted out of football when we first got into it. But the CTE thing is a real deal. I don't think there's been a definitive cause and effect thing, so I think that needs to be worked out. I appreciate all of the efforts that people are making to make the game safer. And to be able to, this concussion protocol thing, I think is great. I mean, you guys remember if you got knocked in the head back in the day, you know, if you could count to 5, you're back in the game as long as you didn't hurt, didn't feel bad.
Right.
And so I think all of that stuff is healthy. The speed of the game is interesting. I know it changed quite a bit how we scouted certain positions. For example, linebackers, they never had to take on a lead block. A lineman never had to drive anybody off the line. They're just getting in the road kind of deal. So it changed how you perceive that sort of thing. But I think it's exciting. There's lots of points scored, and I think fans love that aspect of the game. So, I don't want to be a doomsday guy at all. I think there's concerns about the game that need to be addressed. But there's so much stuff to be learned. I think what Mike Van Dies does with his kids here, and these kids leave, and whatever they go into, they're better people for it. I just know they are by being influenced by him. And the same with Joe. I know how Joe runs his program, and so I think there's a lot of value to what goes on in college football programs, especially at this level. I mean, I can't say that I would say the same thing for every Division I program, but I think the good coaches, the guys that last in Division I, have the best interest of their players at heart and do the right thing.
And the safety protocols have been put in at the college level, I think, are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you as a coach remember those days of 2 and 3 a days, and now it's one practice of, of any physical contact, plenty of time in the room and video and all of that. They added the rule this year, any fair catch on a kickoff inside the 25, it's automatic touchback, so you avoid some of those collisions. And, just some of the technology, the shells for the helmets, the tackling rings and specialized robotic dummies and all that. I really think that has been huge, and that has been passed down to the high school level. I'm a high school administrator, and you see that we've purchased those things, and even in the small fry type of stuff, just to try to preserve this great sport, And so it's been a proactive. I think early it was reactive, with some of the start of the CTE and so forth, and the NFL finally had to bite the bullet and say, well, they really didn't say but you know what I mean? But I think college football has done some of that. I mean, I remember 2 and 3 days, and you just think back, how productive really were you, being that sore
exactly.
and acid build up in your legs and all that. And nowadays, that's the way. And not a lot of physical contact during the weeks, a lot of half shell and tackling to the ground. And I think it's been good, for the future of the sport.
And I think what I'm seeing too is there a lot of flag football early on, so kids aren't knocking heads when they're in the 5 years old, and so I think all those are good moves, and as long as we can continue to get better at that, and I think the research on CTE will eventually come up with some ways to predict. And then people will have decisions to make about whether they want to play or whether they don't want to play. So I think all those are good things, that's for sure.
Well, let me ask you this before we get you out of here and let you enjoy the second half. But in your time at San Diego, who was your favorite player?
I'm going to forget his name. He's the defensive back from Utah that went from San Diego to not Jacksonville, Carolina. Help me, or Baltimore.
I was not a Charger fan, so
this is embarrassing. I can't think of his name. He's a safety. Eric Weddle.
Weddle.
Eric Weddle was
okay.
my favorite player. LaDainian Tomlinson was probably the best player. Antonio Gates. Sproles was
He's still at it.
Yes,
he came back after a tough injury last year, and
I saw him
performing again.
He played
does
well
some
the other
neat
night.
things for a guy that's not tall, or he's just one of those.
I remember when I measured him at the combine his senior year, and the combine height chart starts at 5'6", I think it is. They paste it on the wall, and I remember knowing that he might be shorter than that. So I went and got another height chart and cut off a 3 or 4 inch deal and put it below there so that I wouldn't embarrass him by having to stop the weigh-in to come up with a way to measure him. And I mean, you talk about a big package or a big producer in a small package. He is it, for sure.
Still producing after many years.
For sure. He's what is he? 35 or 36 years old? I think they said on the broadcast the other night.
Well, it's crazy too. You mentioned your son Danny with working with Eli Manning. I mean, you almost had him at San Diego,
yes,
but he didn't want to go.
Well, he didn't want to go. That was a real interesting draft. I'll tell you, that was really interesting. But we ended up with a pretty good player. And the Drew Brees thing was real interesting there too. Drew was injured on a play when some might say he shouldn't even have been in the game because the game was determined. And we had examined him, New Orleans and Miami, and I think Miami and us had the same diagnosis. It's just it wasn't for certain that he was going to recover from this,
right, exactly.
And so. We weren't willing to pay what New Orleans was, and it turned out great for New Orleans, and we had Rivers, and so it's turned out decently for us as well, although they've won a Super Bowl and we haven't.
Well, Ed Langsdorff, the former coach at Linfield and former scout with San Diego and a longtime family friend of the Etcharts, and we appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to talk with you, and enjoy the second half.
I will for sure, and it was a real pleasure to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Ed Langsdorff joining us in the Convoy Supply halftime show, and as we get you set for the second half coming up, have a good one. Thank you very much, sir, for the time. It's always fun to get a different perspective, especially Tim with that NFL perspective, and to hear about Drew Brees and why that didn't happen and why he didn't stay there. But it's.
I wanted to ask him about the move. I have real good friends in the San Diego area. Like I said, I've seen a handful of games in Qualcomm and stuff, and. They had difficulty with them moving to L.A. But it really is kind of a strange fan base in San Diego. You have the big naval facility, and prior to that, in the '60s and '70s, a couple big aircraft manufacturing companies were there, Lockheed and a couple others. So. But my friends were diehard Charger and Padre fans, so I don't think they took it as well, knowing that their team was going to go play in a 30-some-thousand seat place last year, So.
Well, it is 7-0. Carroll leading as we get set to start the second half. Convoy Supply halftime show. The contractor's choice for quality wholesale construction materials. Convoy Supply, 3000 Bozeman Avenue in Helena. Well, you look real quick at the first half stats, and Carroll 9-8 first downs. Linfield in the advantage. Linfield 12 rushes for 29 yards, 123 passing yards, ran 38 plays, 152 yards total. Carroll, 8 first downs, ran 20 times for 59 yards, passed for 58, so very even, 32 plays, 117 yards. Carroll with 4 punts, also a couple of interceptions, both in the end zone. 2 penalties for the Saints, 4 for Linfield, who punted twice, and time of possession favoring Carroll 17 minutes to 13 and a half. And Chittabam Noli 28 yards on 7 carries, leading the way. Wyatt Smith 12 of 26, 2 interceptions, no TDs, 123 yards. For Carroll, Major Ali 10 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. Kaloya 6 for 12, an interception, 58 yards. Sipes and Ferris with 2 catches apiece for 10 and 11 respectively. Arnson Ryan has 1 catch for 21 yards out of the backfield. And your leading tackler once again for Carroll, no surprise, it's Chase Bowen, who has 5, so he's halfway to his season average, which is 10 per game. Carroll will boot it away here to start the second half, but what do you look for, Tim, in the second half?
Well, I look for Linfield to try to establish that running game that, like I say, you bring back a 1,000-plus yard rusher, you're going to go to them, and to only have 28 yards rushing, on 7 carries, although they've done a little committee in the backfield there. Johnson has carried the ball a few times as well. I think they're just going to look to try to, number one, not turn the ball over in the red zone. That has hurt them both times. I really think that first interception took a little, made a little sting with the Linfield offense because they had moved into that red zone and had some good plays, but a great play by McBride Gall to end that drive. And it just been out of sync. It is their first game. We talked about that, but here we go. The quick out of the sideline first play, like you say, they go fast.
And we get a whistle and we'll reset the play clock.
Reset the 25-second clock.
So Linfield going right to left. Start the second half, trailing 7-0. And Wyatt Smith will hand it off to Chittabam Noli. Nice shake and bake at the 30, escapes one tackle and kind of hurdles another at the 35, and he's down at the 40-yard line. So a 20-yard rush, and it's a 15-yard rush, I beg your pardon, but it's 1st and 10, and a nice run on 1st and 10.
Yeah, Noli, he made a great move after getting through the line of scrimmage and linebacker tackling air and getting to the outside. I think that's what they're going to try to do with this back.
Again, the handoff to Noli, and Parker Bernhardt, Bo Meyer tackle him, a gain of a couple. It's actually not Parker Bernhardt, that was Chase Bowen.
Chase Bowen,
so
again, yeah.
6th tackle.
And again, just trying to develop, some continuity with the back, running the football.
Well, we saw drives where they ran it a lot, and then we saw a couple of drives where they just chose to pass it more, and so that they're trying to be balanced, and obviously a great running back. 2nd and 7, just underway, second half. Trying for Laswell, and an incomplete, out of bounds, so 3rd and 7.
Ryan Brolia with great coverage again. They're just going one-on-one, our outside guy against your corner, and covered well. So Smith, he's just using the perimeter there, throwing it out of bounds.
Big 3rd down for Carroll's defense right away here, 3rd quarter. It's 7-0 Carroll in the lead.
Watch for the back out with Johnson.
Smith's going to roll out to his right. He's going to stop and throw, looking deep, and we're going to get an incompletion as the Linfield. Wow, look at head coach Joe Smith running he ran 40 yards to ask the official why there was no flag, as the receiver and the defender got their feet tied up.
He was reaching, and then he didn't. And look, I'm with you. I think that's pretty good, with coverage, feet tangled up there. But Coach Smith is not happy with that side, Judge.
No, and what's weird too is, and maybe weird's not the word, but you never see a head coach wearing shorts. And Coach Smith, a nice polo, Linfield polo, but he's got shorts on the sideline. You don't see that except in practice, not on game days.
He must have known it was going to be nice and warm. Oh,
that almost was blocked. Bollier is going to take it at the 20, get to the 25, and then be down just about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Craig Kind, he's about a half a step there from getting a hand on that punt, Jason, and opportunity to block it. But good return. Ball at the 30 for this offense, and another good stop by that Carroll defense.
Yep, they've been faced with some 3rd downs today and have came through more times than not. But Carroll with a 1st and 10, leading 7-0, 13:45 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Kaloy with the ball in the near right hash mark. Moving left to right, hand off to Ali. Straight up the middle, he gets to the 35, to the 36.5-yard line. They'll mark him back at the 36, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
That play's been positive all day. It's just a basic right in the zero hole, but the offensive line is their motion is to the left, trying to get some push with the defensive line, and then Major just cutting back behind that in an alley, just staying vertical.
And interesting too, it's been a while since we've seen the Wildcat. It really has. And again, the handoff to Ali, and he's going to lose a yard and a half back on the opposite side of the 35-yard line. So 3rd and mid coming up with 13 minutes to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, penetration by the inside tackle, Havali. I'll give it a try. Atoaki.
Havali Ediaki.
Ediaki. I tried.
You did okay. Carroll 1-1 on the season after the forfeit from Rocky this week. Looking for their first win on the field.
They need to hustle here.
6 on the play clock. They just break the huddle. They might have to burn a timeout. And that's going to be a delay of game. And, and let me ask you this. So Nick Howlett, longtime offensive coordinator, was in the box for, the first 11, 12 years as an assistant coach. The last 6 years he's been down on the field, and the last 2 games now at home, he's been back up in the box. And let me ask you, because they're so used to getting that play call immediately from him, well, now it's got to be relayed from him to the sideline, down to the quarterback. And I know teams do this all the time, but if you're not used to it, it's going to take some time to adjust.
And again, that falls a little bit with the quarterback, though. He sees that clock when he breaks the huddle. He should be on those offensive linemen and receivers to get set quick, give yourself a chance to snap it or burn a timeout.
Snaps it with 7 on the play clock. Fake the handoff, rolls right. Catch made on the near sideline by Shane Sipes at the 47-yard line, and a first down for Carroll College.
Yeah, a little design roll to the right, and Kaloy keeping his composure. Great route by Sipes. NFL catch there, both feet in bounds on the out of bounds. So a big first down for this Carroll offense after the delay of game penalty.
3 wide receivers and Eric Dawson in on this 1st and 10 with 12:08 to play here, third quarter. A fake the handoff to Ali. They'll look to Sipes. 2 in a row for Sipes across the 35 of Linfield down to the 33, and a first down and a great pass from Colby Kaloy.
Well, and a great call on first down. You know, they've run the ball well on most first downs. They faked that inside trap. Dawson went in motion. They faked the inside trap, and then just that skinny post to Sipes for another big gain with the passing game.
So 1st and 10 Carroll at Linfield's 33, leading 7-0, 11:40 to go, third quarter. Now turn and hand it off to Ali. Gets across the 30, breaks the tackle, breaks another tackle at the 20, and he's out of bounds. Just shy of the 15-yard line, another first down for Carroll College.
Well, good inside reach blocks on that zone, but the big block there was Alex Hoffman, Jason. He drove that outside defender wide, a big alley for Major to get to the second level and get inside the 20. Good job of footwork by Alex and staying engaged.
11:20 to go here in the third quarter. Carroll up 7-0 and looking to add to it as they have a 1st and 10 at Linfield's 15. Near right hash mark where the ball is snapped. The handoff to Ali, again off the right side, and again he's got blockers. As at the 5, Ali fumbles it in the end zone, but it's already across the goal line, and it's a touchdown, Carroll College.
I'm going to praise these offensive linemen again, Jason. Tanner Steele with a Barry block there on the corner, and Major just waiting for the block to develop, cutting it up, and I mean he's not trying to juke anybody. He's forward lean and using his speed and power to get into the end zone. So impressive drive here again by this Carroll offense. I mean, we've seen a couple great drives in this game.
Josh Kraft 2 for 2 on the year on extra points. The sophomore out of Billings Central. With Troy Arnson in the hold, it's up, and it is good. 11:04 to go, third quarter on the Bud Light scoreboard. It's the Saints 14, Linfield nothing. We're back in 1 minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
We're always looking for opportunities to grow your money by making simple changes. For instance, if you have a few extra dollars sitting in a checking or savings account, you could take advantage of our limited time CD special. Every little bit helps, and it's our job to help you get the biggest benefits with very little effort. All of our branches are working together to support your success. So give us a call or drop by. First Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
If you love reliability, you'll love a Subaru from Placer Motors. Over 98% of Subarus sold in the last 10 years are still on the road. One favorite of drivers is the Subaru Crosstrek. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, sleek new styling, and versatile raised roof rails, the completely redesigned 2018 Crosstrek brings rugged style to any drive. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Start a love affair by test driving a Subaru Crosstrek from Placer Motors.
11:04 to go, third quarter. We welcome you back inside the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. Carroll College leading NCAA Division III Power Linfield 14-0. There's a walk alongside Tim Norback. And a very nice drive put together by the Saints after forcing a punt. And they take it 75 yards. And Major Ali with the second touchdown of the day, a third of the season. And each one has come from outside 10 yards. So a big power back also showing that he could score from further out.
Yeah, and a good mix of calls by the offensive staff to keep Linfield's defense off balance during that drive.
And Shane Sipes with 2 catches on that drive and gives him 4 on the day now, which is what his season total was coming in. Kraft's kickoff taken on the run at the 10. And up across the 25 and about the 27. Keegan Weiss run out of bounds, and Carroll's defense back to work. 10:58 to play, third quarter. Saints up 14-0. And once again, we want to thank former NFL scout and Linfield head coach, long friend of the Edgeharts, Ed Langsdorf, for joining us. The Convoy Supply halftime show. Don't forget
Glasgow Scotty.
Yes, he is. The contractor's choice for quality wholesale construction materials. Convoy Supply, 3000 Bozeman Avenue in Helena. Well, 1st and 10, Linfield trailing 14-0. They're playing their first game of the year, the Wildcats are, and Wyatt Smith, the sophomore quarterback, looking to jumpstart this offense. He'll hand it off to Noli, who gets through a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and then he's run out of bounds at just across the 30-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and about 7 coming up.
Good penetration there by Bo Meyer. Great pursuit to. They had him in the backfield. He did get a couple yards, but Chase Bowen again with another tackle from behind in pursuit. He's got a big motor. He doesn't quit that linebacker position. He's done a great job there.
2nd and 7. Smith flips it off to Aiden Wilder. A wide receiver end around, and he gets across the 35 to the 36. So 3rd and 1 coming up with 10:15 to go here, third quarter.
Tripped up there at the end by Alex Herbert to hold him to a 3rd down. Little fly sweep. That's the first time we've seen that action. Linfield's just trying to find some different mechanisms of moving the football right now.
Linfield with the record winning streak, the success that they've had, 9 straight conference championships. They're not in panic mode at any point or any time yet, as Noli breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and then is dumped at the line of scrimmage. Guess who? Bowen and Peterson there.
Yeah, good job by David and Chase Bowen finishing it off. So we're 4th and 1.
4th and 1, and they're going to go for it, or they're lined up to go for it.
At their own
36.
36. That's a big play here.
Huge. .9:20 to go, and it's
kick.
the
That's
pooch
what
kick.
I thought. I was going to say something prior, but that's a good call by Coach Smith.
And Wyatt Smith pooches it down to the 6-7 yard line, and Carroll will take over there, leading 14-0, 9:12 to play here in the third quarter on the Bud Light scoreboard. Saints football brought to you in part by Mattress Firm, Montana's largest Tempur-Pedic retailer, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep. Mattress Firm. Overland Express Restaurant, the all-American family restaurant where you can enjoy prime rib nightly. A1 Rentals on Custer next to Party Plus. You need it, they've got it. And Capital City Realty and Property Management. When it comes to service, call on the home team. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor, on the field. 9:12 to play, third quarter. Saints 14, Linfield nothing. Back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Mattress Firm is holding over Labor Day deals. Hurry in, ends Monday. Save up to $1,000 on select mattress sets from Sealy and Stearns & Foster. Plus, save on Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America. Your choice, free adjustable upgrade, or save up to $850. Take advantage of Mattress Firm's low price guarantee, or it's free. Plus, get 72 months interest-free financing and free red carpet delivery during Mattress Firm's Labor Day holdover sale.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
Creeping, crawling on your floor, in the dark, in your shoes and sheets. All us eight-legged little monsters start to find ways inside to make your home our home.
Time to give Nitro Green a call. Nitro Green is your full-service pest control solution with no contracts or unnecessary visits. They will make sure to keep your house protected inside and out. Nitro Green, here to give you the peace of mind that nothing is crawling around in the dark.
9:12 to play, third quarter on the Bud Light scoreboard. 14-0. Carroll in the lead as we welcome you back inside the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. Carroll with a 1st and 10 at their own 7. And Colby Kaloy will turn and hand it off to Major Ali, who gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up, and checking some other scores. 20th ranked Rocky leading at home at the half over 13th ranked Dickinson 14-10. And number 14 Montana leading 10-3 over Drake at the half in Missoula. That one over on the FM KCAP at 95.9 FM. Coming up at 4 o'clock, coverage begins for Montana State at number 3 South Dakota State in Brookings. That'll be over on the AM KCAP at 9:50 AM. 2nd and 10, Saints, 8:40 to play, third quarter, leading 14-0. Kaloy behind center again. And again, turns and hands it off to Ali, this time off left side. He gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, dives forward, a gain of maybe a yard. And 3rd and about 9 coming up. And, Tim, the Saints would like to get out of the shadows of this end zone.
Yeah, it's tough. Not a lot of easy play calling when you're inside your 10. You don't want to give up any turnovers or make mistakes down here. So probably be a little conservative, maybe roll out and use the sideline perimeter if they're going to throw the football.
Coming into this game, I was really excited about the matchup of Carroll's defense against Linfield's offense, returning so many starters from last year. And I think the Saints defense winning the challenge so far as they've pitched the shutout thus far in this ball game with just under 8 minutes to play, leading 14-0. Hand off to Ali. And up across the 15. He'll be shy of the first down by about a yard, but a good play call. I think Linfield expecting pass, and Major just ran it right up the gut.
Yeah, that little cutback again, and they've found Sipes. Linfield's defense did. They had double coverage over here on him, which, like Coach Van Diest talked about in some of our earlier shows, if he's drawing a double team, that's what Carroll's offense is looking for, to give those other receivers an opportunity to be one-on-one with a defender.
Matt Kevick on to punt. 5th time today. Stands at his own 1, gets it out, and Corey Day will take it at the 50, and he'll get to the Saints 49 before he's tackled there. Isaiah King, Nate McGree on the stop, but pretty good field position right now for Linfield. It's their best field position in quite some time, and now there's still 22 minutes of football left, and I said it before on the last series, they're not going to panic. This is a seasoned coaching staff and team, but at some point they've got to show something out of their offense that doesn't result in an interception in the end zone.
And that's what happened in the last couple series. That pooch kick and pin and Carroll deep and 3 and out, and they switched field position here, so they're 1st and 10 at midfield on this drive.
Wyatt Smith with the ball on the far right hash mark, just above the C Halo logo. Passes out, complete near side to Keegan Weiss. He's tackled at the 44, gain of 6, 2nd and 4 coming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah, just short little hitch route again with Weiss. They've thrown to him quite often, and leaving themselves a 2nd and short opportunity here.
6:44 to go in the 3rd. Carroll's up 14-0 as Smith handoff to Noli. Gets around the corner.
They got it.
The 40, and the flag comes in, and that'll come back. He had the first down, and now he does not.
Yeah, mumbling about the hold there, but the big All-American, preseason All-American tackle, Dakota Smith, with a big hold there on that 2nd and short on Alex Thomas. So again, that's a defensive line getting across the face of that offensive blocker and forcing him to reach outside the shoulders.
So back it up to Linfield's 46. It'll be 2nd and 14 now with 6:29 to go in the 3rd. 14-0 Carroll. 3 wide receivers bunched for Wyatt Smith. He's looking near side. He'll look deep for Laswell, and it's tipped away by Beaulier, and then Laswell had it in his hands, and it falls incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 14. Ryan Beaulier has played some great coverage today.
He has done a great job at that corner position, almost an opportunity for a 3rd interception there. Good route, but also Carroll's defensive backs reading those routes. There was 2 guys in that coverage for Carroll.
So 3rd and 14 at the 46 with 6:10 to go in the 3rd. Saints up 14-0.
Watch the back out here.
It's Rule. They've hit him a couple of times. They got him covered.
There it is.
And Quady a little slow getting there, and Rule's going to get about half of it back. up to the Saints 45. So it'll be 4th and about 5 coming up, and another interesting play call here for 4th down for Linfield.
Yeah, this might be an area where they actually do go for it at the 45. They like those back outs. That was just a regular out, and Quady a little behind in coverage, able to force him out of bounds after, a gain of about 10. But that's something they've looked to a few times during this game. And another receiver in the backfield as well on this 4th down play.
4th and 5. Smith to pass across the middle, and it's going to be very close. I think he's about a half a yard short.
I do too.
The catch was made by Weiss.
Yep.
I didn't see who made the stop, but yeah, he's a half a yard shy.
I think Tony Madsen's on that stop with a great hit. They're going to bring those chains.
They don't even have to bring the chains. That's a 1st and 10 for Carroll College. The defense once again comes up big.
Yeah, it was Madsen.
Had
Smith
the big
has all
interception.
kinds of time to throw. They were looking for the back, or the back coming out in the flat again, and it was covered well by the defender. And then they had a dragging route from the top side, and good pitch and catch, but a great hit, great contact on that catch to prevent any movement upfield after the catch.
Well, a lot of that's on the receiver for not getting across the 1st down chains.
Big collision though when the ball got there.
5:43 to go. Yeah, if he'd been across though the collision, he's there. I'm just saying. Handoff to Ali, shifts a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage and dives forward for a gain of 2 up ahead to the 43. Saints up 14-0, 5:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Linfield's defensive end, Tony Krause, in the backfield early and has a hand on Major, but he's able to shake that and actually get a yard gain after being hit 2 or 3 yards in the backfield.
By far Major's best game of the year. And one guy, we haven't seen a whole lot of Ryan Arnson. We haven't seen Troy Arnson out there at all as a receiver, only as a holder. Is Colby Colloy. Play action.
Oh,
it's picked off. He got hit as he threw, and it is intercepted. And up to the 40-yard line goes Patrick Pipitone. He wears that number 35, and it's a lot like the Grizzlies' number 37. We'll hit on that more in a second, but not a good decision there by Colloy. He was going to get hit when he threw, and that ball was a good 10 yards shy of the intended target.
Not an opportunity to get anything on the football, and it's thrown short, and another key turnover for that Carroll offense.
And we'll see now if this is what kickstarts and jumpstarts Linfield's offense. They've been stagnant since the 1st quarter, really. And they have a 1st and 10 at the Saints 40 with 5 minutes to play 3rd quarter, trailing 14-0. Plenty of time left in this ball game as Smith fakes the handoff to Noli. He's looking deep for Laswell. And again, Ryan Bollier coming over at the last minute to knock it away.
Yeah, going for the home run. I'm not sure what this penalty is. We'll see what we have.
And it's a hold on Linfield. So it'll be 1st and 20 back at the 50. But how about Ryan Bollier again?
He's just baiting those receivers. They think they have that step on him, and he's closing right at the last minute and getting his head around and finding the ball and batting it away. Frustrating these receivers of Linfield with this play. I mean, he's had a great. He's been out on an island there most of the game, one-on-one with some of their top skill receivers that they return.
So 1st and 20 for Smith at midfield. He's going to take off himself, trying to get some extra yardage, brought down by Bollier at the 44. So a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 14 coming up for the Wildcats.
We'll give him that short gain and keep the clock moving here. Still long, 2nd and long.
Well, SOU was supposed to be playing College of Idaho, and there's no updates on the score, so I wonder if that game is being played with all the smoke in the Ashland area. I'll keep you updated. 4:15 to go here, 3rd quarter. Saints up 14-0. Linfield with a 2nd and 14 at the Carroll 44 after the interception a moment ago. Smith back to pass. Saints come with 4-man pressure. He's got Laswell at the 35 and rolled down at the 31-yard line. He took a big shot from Bo Meyer, but it's just enough for a 1st down across the 30 at the 29-yard line. Gain of 15 for Linfield.
Yeah, just a deep dig route there on the outside. He just settled to make the catch, and different than the previous series, he knew where the first down marker was and got upfield.
3:45 to go in the third. Saints up 14-0. And Laswell, who was pretty quiet the first half, has a couple of catches here. And Smith rolls out to his right. Laswell falls down again. Smith's going to just throw it out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10. And that's the third time that Laswell has slipped over on that far side of the field.
Yep.
Yeah, and this field is in great shape, by the way.
Yeah, they play on turf, and hopefully they practice on grass a little bit, knowing they were coming here. But
what's the biggest difference between going from you play on turf all the time and then you go play on grass?
I don't know. I never had an opportunity to play on
They didn't have the fake stuff when you played?
Maybe the hard stuff, but
only in the Astrodome.
There's got to be some, different. I think there's a little more grab with the, the little pellets in the turf and stuff.
Well, you have to wear a different cleat too.
Yeah.
3.5 to play in the third. 14-0 Carroll. It's 2nd and 10. Linfield at the Saints 29 on the near left hash mark. Smith throws complete inside the 10. That one's caught by Keegan Weiss, who it looked like, Tim, he maybe cut the route a little bit shorter and allowed the defenders to fly by, and he was the only one there.
That was by design. He knew what spot he had to get to, and Smith knew where he was throwing the football to. That's a timing play that's worked on hundreds of times. Try to get that defender to stay in his run and not stop and come back. But they've abandoned the run again on this series, like you said. It's been all pass.
1st and goal at the 9 with 3:07 to play in the third, trailing 14-0. 3 wide receivers for Smith, and he's going to look to throw. Now he turns and runs, trying to run for the pylon. He's going to run out of bounds at the 5. Chased out of bounds by Chase Bowen. And it'll be 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line with 2:56 to play in the third.
Yeah, and again, he's having time to survey the field with his receivers, and Contain broke down there, so he just ran to his left and got a handful of yards to make it 2nd and goal from the
And they mark
4.
it at the 4, so 2:45 left, 14-0, third quarter, Carroll leading. Smith, another rollout, throws, and it's off of the receiver intended for Aiden Wilder. He was open across the goal line, and he just flat out dropped it.
Yeah, hit him right in the numbers, instead of the hands, and off the pads it went, but open there on the goal line.
So 3rd and goal at the 4. Linfield has missed a field goal today. And I noticed during that the Convoy Supply halftime show, we were talking with Coach Langsdorff that Willie Warren, the kicker, was out practicing while the rest of the team was in the locker room. And that was early, right at the beginning of halftime. So here we go, 3rd and goal, 2:37 to go, third quarter. Saints up 14-0. 6 seconds on the play clock. Rule shifts out to the left side of
Receiver in the
Smith.
backfield again. There's the wheel route.
And they find Rule out of the backfield, and that is a touchdown for Linfield.
And I hate to say it, but that is the old pick play there. 9 ran right into the defender, and then just threw the out there. But it worked.
So a 4-yard touchdown pass from Smith to Rule. And Warren on for the extra point. Ball down, kick is on the way, and this one is good. 2:33 to go, third quarter. Linfield on the scoreboard. Your score on the Bud Light scoreboard. Saints 14, Linfield 7. Back in a minute. You're listening to Carroll College Football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
Need a lift? The folks at A1 Rental can give you one, with all the tools and equipment to get the summer jobs done with ease, like ladders, scaffold, bucket and scissor lifts, pressure washers, paint sprayers, and even deck sanders. A1 Rentals is a place you want to visit when you need to get the job done. A1 Rentals on Cedar Street, next to Party Plus.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
It's a close game, with the sellers having a slight edge on the buyers right now.
That's right, Buck. That's all the more reason to go with the home team advantage. Capital City Realty and Property Management.
If you're thinking about selling, you may as well go with the home team. Did you know they're experts at pricing your property to fit the neighborhood and the overall market?
Just go to their website and they'll put together a winning game plan for you.
Capital City Realty and Property Management. When service matters, call the home team.
2:33 to go, third quarter. Welcome inside the Century 21 Heritage Realty press box. Wyatt Smith, touchdown pass to Rule, 4 yards out, 2:33 left, 14-7 now. Carroll in the lead, and Linfield with 60 yards rushing, 177 yards passing, and 237 overall on 56 plays. Carroll, 107 rushing yards, 95 passing. They've run 43 plays for 202 yards. So obviously a lot better game, by far the best game Carroll's played this season, Tim.
Right, they have shown some great ball movement on offense and some sustained drives, and some good blocking and play calling.
And we've seen interceptions by both teams now that have resulted in points for the other team.
Right. And good defense. That's one of the things Carroll's done quite well through the years. So really the only longer drive, wasn't a real long drive, the turnover,
50 yards, yeah. Or 40 yards. Warren to kick it off, and this one is going to go out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty. And
35-yard line.
Wow.
That's a good start.
And that is, you don't want that after you just go down and score. Your defense gets you a turnover. The offense gets you a score. You don't want to go out as the kicker and do. That's why nobody likes kickers.
That's why he was out here early, I guess, at half on his own.
Well, he should have stayed out longer because that one went out of bounds. And he was close on the opening kick of the game,
right,
too.
Yeah, it barely went over the pylon in front of the official and was a touchback, but that one definitely was out of bounds.
So 1st and 10, Carroll at the 35, leading 14-7 now with 2:33 to play here in the third. Colby Kaloy back out with 3 wide receivers. Hand off to Ali, and again, good running room across the 40 up to the 44-yard line. A gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Again, I like that design. We're going to stay between the tackles, and a little stutter step there again by a major, and waiting for the blocks to develop, and a 9-yard gain. He's really ran the ball well today, especially inside the tackles.
2nd down and 1, Carroll, 2:05 to go in the third, leading 14-7. And Kaloy will bring Fossum in motion, or check that Pierce. And he'll hand it off to Ali, who comes to the near side. He's across the 50 and tackled down across the 45 of Linfield. And
Connor McGree from the center position, pulling and around the corner, leading the offensive line. They've done some different things with them, getting them moving. They're mobile group, athletic, and whether they're pulling or up in the hole there. So you like to see that when your center is your lead blocker 10, 12 yards downfield.
1st and 10, Carroll. Linfield's 43, 1:40 to go in the third. Saints on top, 14-7 on the Bud Light scoreboard. Fossum now in motion. Kaloy now with Ryan Arnson in the backfield. Hand off to Arnson, who celebrated his birthday on Tuesday. He gets up to the 40, just across the 40. And it'll be 2nd down and about 6.
Well, established the run well. Going a little bit large package here. I see Harrington coming in, so he plays that other tight end in this position.
He's listed as the H-back on the 2 deep, but they have Dawson and Harrington out there. Double tight end set now on the right side, near side of the field. And they'll hand it off to Ali, who's wrapped up and dropped in the backfield as Travis Swanson, that D-end who's made a couple of nice plays like that from his right end position, came flying around and tackles Ali for a loss.
Yeah, Carroll's had success on that trap with Dawson pulling, but he just beat Eric Dawson to the point there, not allowing that trap to develop. That was a good play by Swanson.
So 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Saints with a 3rd and 8 now at the Linfield 42, leading 14-7 here at Nelson Stadium. Saints will have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. I don't think that'll affect Wyatt Smith at all for Linfield. He's got a pretty good arm.
Back out.
Kaloy finds Ali and knocked out of bounds. And it'll be a punt coming up, presumably for the Saints, with a 4th and 10 at the 43-yard line. PA announcer just said short gain. It was actually a loss of a yard.
Right. Yeah, so some early positive plays, but forced to punt again here.
Well, they'll do it in the fourth quarter because
I think he was out of bounds. They're going to have to punt.
Well, it's a new thing.
That's right.
They don't. It doesn't stay stopped, right? I mean, it's been the last couple years.
That's right.
Try to speed up the game, so to speak. But that does take us to the end of 3 at Nelson. Your score on the Bud Light scoreboard. It's Carroll College 14, number 6, Linfield 7. Back with the final 15 in 1 minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Labor Day savings have been held over through Saturday at Rutgers Furniture. Shop Helena's largest in-stock selection of top-quality name-brand home furnishings at tremendous Labor Day savings. At Rutgers, you'll find sofas, sleepers, motion, leather, bedroom, dining room, desk, entertainment consoles, third of the most comfortable beds in Helena, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Don't miss Labor Day savings held over through Saturday at Rutgers Furniture in the America's Mattress Gallery, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
The house is so stuffy, it's probably all that smoke.
I know. It's hard to breathe.
There's another smell also. Did you change the kitty litter box?
That's not my job. That's your other son's job.
We've got to do something. I can't take it.
What can we do? We can't open the windows.
I wonder if 3 brothers can help.
Great idea. I've got their number. 449-4343.
Yes, 3 Brothers Plumbing and Heating can help with York air purification systems and humidifiers. Quality products from York installed with confidence.
3 Brothers is there.
This is Sports 94.9, your home for the Saints. KIMO HD3 Townsend, K235BW Helena.
Sweet Caroline, the time never seems so good.
Heading to the fourth quarter, Carroll College leading 14-7 on the Bud Light scoreboard. Heritage Realty press box. Carroll College with a 4th and 10 will punt it away, or lined up to punt it away. With the wind at their backs now, moving right to left here in the fourth quarter. And the wind has picked up a little bit, and that's actually, I think, kind of cleared out some of the smoke that was starting to settle in, Tim, early on in the ball game. Jason Walker alongside Tim Norbeck. As Matt Kevick end over end, trying to get to the corner, and wow, he drops it dead at the 4-yard line. That was an awesome punt. Reese Felton-esque.
That's right. I was worried about the end over end. Usually you get that big bounce and it flies into the end zone, but it took a turn to the left and out at the 4. So great job of pinning this Wildcat offense deep in their own territory as we start the fourth quarter.
Trailing Carroll 14-7. And long way to go still, 14:52 to play. But Linfield has at times, Tim, looked like a team playing its first game of the year.
Right. There's been some inconsistency.
With that experience that they have on offense, only just, the 7 points. But Saints defense has played so well, including there when Johnson is drilled behind the line of scrimmage back at the 2-yard line. I think it was
Garrett. Is that Garrett?
Kokab?
Yeah, that's what it was there. Yes, great play. Great penetration on the snap, and for a loss.
Fourth quarter just started in Billings. Rocky leading Dickinson 21-10. Here it's 14-7 Carroll. 14:18 to play in regulation. Smith now standing about 3 yards deep in his own end zone on the 2nd and 11 call. He'll roll out to his left. He looks deep downfield. Melton holding on to Corey Day, and you're going to get a double flag. You could see the jersey moving as Melton was beat, and he held on to Day, and that'll be a pass interference.
Yeah, the ball's a little bit underthrown. at about 50 yards, but as that receiver slowed up to try to come back to it, Melton not able to get out of his way, and like you say, it's pass interference, which gets Linfield out of the hole.
A little bit. The ball's moved up to the 18-yard line. And the ball will be on the near right hash mark as Linfield moves into the wind here from left to right, trailing 14-7. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to play Smith later this year or next year or his senior year.
Exactly.
He is a fun quarterback to watch. He'll hand it off to Johnson, who escapes a couple of tackles and then dropped across the 20 at the 21. Bollier in there. And Kokab again.
Yeah, good job of missing the tackle of Chase.
And Bollier a little slow to get up. He's at the 20, and as Brian Coble and the training staff head out, and that you don't want to see that because Bollier's had such a great game for Carroll.
And Linfield will recognize that. They've had, they've thrown the ball on the outside quite a bit.
And we're going to get a timeout on the field.
He's going to be all right, though.
13:55 to play on the Bud Light scoreboard. It's 14-7. Carroll. We're back in 1 minute. This is Carroll College football on Sports 94.9.
Labor Day savings have been held over through this Saturday at Furniture Showroom. That's right, you still have time to shop Furniture Showroom for fantastic sale prices. Choose from our great assortment of sofas, love seats, recliners, reclining sofas, sectionals, entertainment consoles, tables, extremely affordable therapeutic beds, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Don't forget, Labor Day savings have been held over through this Saturday at Furniture Showroom, 2200 North Last Chance Gulch in Helena.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
Hey, left, the folks at A1 Rental can give you one with all the tools and equipment to get the summer jobs done with ease, like ladders, scaffold, bucket and scissor lifts, pressure washers, paint sprayers, and even deck sanders. A1 Rentals is a place you want to visit when you need to get the job done. A1 Rentals on Cedar Street next to Hardy Plus.
When you need it, rent it at A1 Rentals.
Brian Bollier walked off on his own power. That's good to see as Carroll College leading 14-7, 13:55 to play. And Linfield with a second down and 6 at the 22-yard line of Carroll College. And yeah, Tim, you don't want to see anybody ever go down, but it's good to see Bollier back out, walk off on his own power.
He's had a great game today.
3 or 4 pass breakups unofficially. A couple of big tackles. As Smith back to pass, comes near sideline.
Oh, great job by
Melton's going to get a flag. The field judge from behind calls it, and the pass was intended for Laswell, and Melton throws his hands up. That's a second PI on this drive. And from the backside, it looked like he might have had his arm wrapped around, but he did. That was as good a defense as you could play. I guess you'd say very tight coverage.
Yeah. Yeah, they look at that offhand. He slapped it away with his right hand, but that's probably what the field judge called was a hook.
So 1st and 10 up at the 29-yard line. 14-7, Carroll leads, 13:50 to play on the Bud Light scoreboard. Smith with 3 wide receivers, 2 to his left, and Laswell, the lone receiver, near side right. Johnson in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Cuts it back up the middle. Bowen and Thomas in on the stop after he drags them both up to about the 35, maybe the 34-yard line.
It's a play you haven't seen a lot of. That's like the old sprint draw there. So he's sprinting to his left, and the back just stays stationary. Then he gives it to him. That you haven't seen much of that lately.
2nd and 5. Smith trailing 14-7. Takes the shotgun snap. Looks deep near sideline for Laswell, and this one's hauled in, and it's caught at the 30. Brought down by Melton, and that one looked more honestly like pass interference than the one previous, but It's a 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line, and Laswell finally getting going here in the second half.
Right, and the key to that is the protection that Smith is getting. He's had all kinds of time in these last couple drives to throw the ball, and Coach Van Diest rotating some of those defensive linemen here to see if he can dial up a little more pressure.
They brought Quady from his linebacker spot on that last one, but he got picked up by Johnson in the backfield. And it's 1st and 10, Linfield, 13 minutes to go, trailing 14-7, but in Saints territory at the 28. And Smith again to his left, now stops, now looks, end zone, and this one's going to be overthrown. Intended for Keegan Weiss. And you can tell that the timing is off just a little bit between Smith and his receivers. He's overshot them a few times today.
Yeah, they run a lot of deep routes, Linfield does, besides the short out routes they've run earlier, but a lot of deep posts and corners, especially in the red zone.
2nd and 10 at the 28 with 12:46 to go. 14-7, Carroll. Linfield moving left to right, the ball in the near right hash mark. He'll hand it off to Noli. First carry for him in a while. Gets across the line of scrimmage, picks up more down to the 15-yard line, and a gain of about 13 results in a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they just ran inside trap here to the right side, and then as the play developed, he just used his athleticism to find an opening to the left and get a bunch of yards.
So 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Saints 15, trailing Carroll 14-7. 12.5 to play. Noli off left side. Now he'll reverse traffic because there was nowhere to go, and he's going to get tripped up from behind at the 14-yard line. Greff came and got him from behind, but he ran into a wall on the left side and cut it back middle of the field, and it looked like he had some room to run, but a nice behind the scenes tackle.
Parker Bernhardt. Yeah, he did it. Nothing to the left. He's cutting it back and was going to use his speed, but Parker was able to trip him up, or it would have been a big gain.
Grizzlies leading at home over Drake 17-10 in the 3rd quarter. Here it's 14-7 Carroll with 11:45 to go.
Pass.
They're going to run they hand it off to Rule, pass back to Smith. He dives across the goal line, touchdown, Linfield. A great play call. They handed it off to Rule. Smith sprinted out to the far sideline, hauled it in, a nice pass from Rule, and we are an extra point away from being tied here all of a sudden.
And the Carroll defender about a half a step away from knocking that down, but that is a good trick play called down here in the red zone.
On 2nd and 9, and it results in a 14-yard touchdown pass. And Warren on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 11:39 to go on the Bud Light scoreboard. Your score, it's Carroll 14, Linfield 14. We're back in a minute. This is Carroll College Football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
From airbags to crumple zones, manufacturers require safety and 5-star ratings. If your vehicle isn't repaired to manufacturer's specifications, it's no longer 5-star rated. Capital Collision Center always repairs your vehicle to manufacturer's requirements. Montana State law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Helena's only Ford F-150 aluminum, Honda, Nissan, Acura, GM, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Hyundai certified repair shop. Capital Collision Center on Euclid. Another exciting announcement will come soon. Prime rib. When you want it, you crave it, and nothing else will do. But what happens when you're really hungry for prime rib on, say, Monday night or Thursday? Most restaurants only serve it on Friday and Saturday nights, you know. Well, guess what? The Overland Express serves tender, succulent cut with a full melt in your mouth, truly prime rib. Any night you want it, 7 nights a week. Be sure to top off dinner with your favorite dessert. What you want, when you want it. That's what they do at the Overland Express, where anytime is prime time.
Welcome back to the Century 21 Heritage Realty Press Box. 11:39 to go, and we have ourselves a ball game. 14 unanswered points by Linfield over the last 6 minutes, and it's 14-14 here at Nelson Stadium. And you wondered when Linfield's experienced offense was going to get untracked, and Tim, they have the last couple of series.
Yeah, and that trick play, that's something I'm sure they've worked on quite a bit. Rule threw the ball very well. The defender was about a half a yard behind, but reaching into their bag down in the red zone to get a score to even this thing up. And like you said, that veteran offense finally getting some continuity and moving the football.
Got a new kicker, too, as Andrew Starkle, 6'2 sophomore from Pacific Washington, will kick this one away after Warren has had one for a penalty and another one that was close. And this one into the wind sends Sipes back to the goal line. Sipes gets a running start, heads off to the right side and swarmed under just across the 15-yard line. And Carroll, with 11:33 to go, takes over in a 14-all ball game. Carroll football brought to you in part by Three Brothers Plumbing and Heating. If it's broken, they can fix it. Plumbing, heating, AC, air purification systems, they treat you like family. D.A. Davidson and Company in the Great Northern Town Center. Client focused, community connected, member SIPC. Nitro Green of Helena. Knowledge is our nature at Nitro Green. And Eagle Tire and Auto Repair is a tire supply service center providing name brand tires, factory scheduled maintenance, and automotive repair. 14-14. Saints now back to the Wildcat with Dawson, and he has stood up a gain of 2 to the 19-yard line, and that's the first time we've seen Wildcat this half.
Right.
We didn't see it much after Dawson got tackled for a couple of losses in that second quarter, but Saints going back to it.
Yeah, just trying to see if their big offensive linemen can get first down, get out of the deep in their own territory here. I haven't had the success with that they've had in the past.
Linfield up to 315 yards on 67 plays. Carroll 226 on 49. And Kaloy back at quarterback. He'll bring Fossum in motion. Back to pass. Second down and 8. Looking near sideline for Fossum, and it's going to fall incomplete at the 45-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 8 for the Saints with 10:46 to play.
There's a big play here. We don't want to give Carroll doesn't want to give the ball back to Linfield after a couple scores on a third or on a 3 and out. The defense has been out there quite a bit this half. So this is a big play for the Carroll offense.
Time of possession now in favor of Linfield. Carroll had it at halftime by 4 minutes, and now Linfield has a 2-minute time of possession favor. 14-14. Kaloy. Again back to pass. Flushed, rolls, still on his feet. He's going to run for the first down marker and hit just shy of it across the 25. A huge hit by Duke Mackle, the safety, who's had a great game today, but Carroll's going to be forced to punt. After getting 6, they needed 8.
Yeah, thought he had an opportunity to get there, but Mackle came from his safety position with good angle and used the sideline as one of his tacklers, held him short of the first down.
So now a punt coming up for Matt Quebec. He'll have a chance to boot this one away. Gets the wind at his back and again sends it over the head of Corey Day, and it's going to roll out of bounds at the 19-yard line. That's a good punt there.
That is a good punt. A little help from the wind, but no return. And time for this Carroll defense to show what they've done on a number of drives today. See if they can stop this momentum of this Linfield Wildcat offense that has shown what they're capable of the last couple scoring drives that they've had to tie this ball game.
It's almost like it took them, 2.5 quarters to get accustomed to game time speed playing for the first time this season. 14-14, 10:27 to play in regulation. It'll be 1st and 10 Linfield at their own 19-yard line after another fantastic punt from Matt Quebec. Smith. Bollier comes on a blitz, and a holds comes in, flag comes in late as Noli had good run up the middle after he escaped Bollier, but Bollier went flying out of his corner position.
Yeah, they run the corner blitz, and they're running that inside trap like Carroll has run a few times with Major Ali, but he doesn't maintain the tackle. But for the fortunate part is there's an inside hold there.
And that's on the center, Gabe Maharo. Those centers are always cheating, right?
Yeah. Hold him if you get something to grab onto.
So back it up. It'll be first and about 20, first and 16, yeah, back at the 13-yard line. 14-14 ball game. And negated a play of about 9, and they'll try it again. Noli this time tackled at the 15. Bo Meyer and Reese Quady in on the stop. And that was not Noli. That was another running back. That actually was J.D. Laswell, the receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, running him in the backfield. Noli's going to exit stage left as they bring in Rule.
And this is where you got to be careful because he's a receiver in the backfield, and they like that flat. They like that wheel.
2nd and 14, 9:45 to go. 14-14 ball game. Smith takes the snap. Meyer being double teamed, comes near side. Laswell tackled at the 25 by Bollier. It'll be shy of the first down by about 5 yards, so 3rd and 5 coming up after the gain of 9.
Yeah, just a manageable play by Linfield's offense, trying to get half or part of that back and leave them a very manageable 3rd and short.
How fun has that matchup been? The two number 2s, Laswell and Bollier.
That has been a battle of a couple warriors there today.
3rd and 4, 9:07 to go. 14 all.
Watch the back again.
Smith.
There he is.
There's Will coming out of the backfield. They're going to lob it sideline, and he catches it. He came back. It almost like hit the back of Alex Thomas and Rule right there, and it's a first down at the 40.
That's just great concentration by him, and they have used that play numerous times with Rule in the backfield. So they run the speed out, and if that's jumped, then they turn it into a wheel route on the sidelines, and they've completed it a number of times there. But that's a great catch with a good defense in front of it.
So 1st and 10, 8:48 to go. Saints and Wildcats of Linfield tied at 14. They'll hand it off to Noli. He's trying to get near side. He's not going to get around the corner too much as Madsen and Bowen in on the stop along with Bo Meyer. And a gain of about 4, so that turned out a lot better than it originally looked like it was going to.
Yeah, they have it bottled up, and he just keeps his feet going. They've got to make that play for 0 or negative yardage instead of these 5-yard gains on these first downs.
Grass Range win it upsets Bridger 27-0. That's a big game in 6-man. Here at 2nd and 5. 8:05 to go. 14-14 ball game. Carroll scored the first 14 points. Linfield the second 14. And Smith looks to his left. He throws. Caught by Day. Just shy of the 50. He'll spin up to the 50. It'll be very close to a first down. And I think based on the foot of the line judge, it'll be enough for a first down for Linfield, and it is at midfield with 7:49 to go.
Right, it just fought upfield to get that first down. And Carroll's defense needs to make a play here. Stop the momentum. See if they can cause a turnover.
First and 10 Wildcats. The ball on the far left hash mark right at the 50-yard line. 14-14 the score. And Smith just looked again back to the play clock behind him. There's 3 to go. He gets the snap off. Now the pressure comes. Smith is going to be dropped back at the 43.
Good job pressure early.
Cole Greff.
Sexy with the early pressure. Forcing Smith to step up, and Cole Greff with the tackle, but Peyton a good job off of the snap to cause a little havoc in the backfield. And that's a good start to trying to end this drive.
It'll bring up 2nd down and 17 back at the Linfield 43 with 7 minutes to play in regulation. 14-14. Tell you what, Carroll came to play today.
They did.
Blitz comes. Smith avoids it, throws out of bounds, intended for Day. It'll be 3rd and 17.
Some pretty good pressure, but it's still an opportunity to get the ball off. He's a gunslinger, Jason.
Man, and he kind of sidearmed that one from the hip after just a neat little slide step to the
30
left.
yards he sidearmed it.
Looked like Bernie Kosar.
I'm sure he's been throwing the football since he's
was
been
in the
standing. Yeah.
6:40 to go. The Saints crowd comes alive with a 3rd and 17.
But watch that back in the backfield again. They like to use him. Delay him out. There he is, delayed out on the screen.
There's the screen. Rule escapes one tackle, is up the far sideline, knocked out of bounds by Madsen, close to the Saints 46. So it'll be 4th and about 6 coming up for Linfield. Tell you what, Rule is a good player from Bend, Oregon, out of Summit High School.
They use him in a bunch of different positions, and you know, that is.
Do you think the pooch kick again here? Right about midfield.
You would think. You know, they've been able to pin Carroll deep.
6:30 to go.
But not sure. They pulled off a trick play before, and
there is the pooch, and that one is going to bounce at the 10 and be down at the 8-yard line. So,
again, field position play there by Coach Smith. But a good stop by that Carroll defense.
Yep.
I mean, like you said a little bit ago, this Wildcat offense is very potent. You know, when they put Rule in the backfield, you know, there's a lot of different things that can happen. He can run the ball, but they use him as a receiver and try to get him, you know, in a mismatch with the linebacker, or, you know, in the flat or on the wheel or whatever. And he's had a big game. Smith's kind of warmed up quite a bit this half.
And we're going to get a timeout on the field. 6:18 to play in regulation. On the Bud Light scoreboard, it's 14-14. The Saints and the Wildcats back in a minute. You're listening to Carroll College Football on Sports 94.9.
You want to go to a place you can trust for car care. Meinecke's got great reviews. Here's one of them.
Well, I have taken every vehicle I own to Meinecke to have work done, like replacing brakes and rotors, to working on air conditioning systems, and of course oil changing and servicing. They always discussed any problems there might be, but never made me feel like they were out to find problems just to make money. My name's Benita, and I choose Meinecke.
If your car is complaining about anything, visit your full-service Meinecke Car Care Center on Custer Avenue.
Is it really possible to have too much of a good thing? The menu from the Overland Express might tend to make you think so. Whether you're looking for a luscious lunch or a delectable dinner, every menu item looks better than the next. From the dragon wings or raspberry chicken salad to the shrimp scampi or your favorite steak. And the stage stops nightly for prime rib served with Cajun and apricot sauce, indoors or on the patio. It doesn't get much better than this. The Overland Express, 225011, where the possibilities are all good.
14-14, 6:18 to play. Carroll with a 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line. Century 21 Heritage Realty press box starting to heat up a little bit. The sun breaks through the smoke as Kaloy hands it off to Major Ali, who is swarmed under back at the 5-yard line. That's a loss of 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, I'm not sure the timing on that play, and he's dinged up a little
bit,
which
is
is not something we want to see down here.
That defensive lineman, and I think it was Chris Stinchcomb who was fending off a block and came up with the tackle. Did want to mention that Carroll volleyball went 2-0 yesterday at Great Falls at the Providence tournament. Sweeps
They're
over.
gonna have to burn a timeout here if they don't get moving.
Who beat Providence Christian and Benedictine Mesa. And a delay of game, or the timeout comes first. The field judge is going to say the timeout came before the delay. So timeout Carroll with 5:46 to go. 14-14 ball game. Yeah, Carroll College women's volleyball 2-0 yesterday. They're playing Medicine Hat College and Embry-Riddle up in the Electric City today. Saints women's soccer out at Walla Walla taking on Whitman today, Whitworth tomorrow. Men's soccer will host Whitworth here at Nelson Stadium tomorrow. Kickoff on this pitch at 3:30. Don't forget Bobcat football coming up at South Dakota State. 4 p.m. over on the the AM KCAP at 9:50 a.m. Grizz football on the FM KCAP at 95.9 FM right now, leading 17-10 over Drake in Missoula. Helena High moves to 3-0 with a big win over Hellgate on Thursday. Capital got their first win last night, beating Butte 37-27. Fourth-ranked Townsend at Columbus, ranked 6th, 27 the Bulldogs win. They're 3-0. Jefferson falls to 1-2 after getting shellacked at home by Three Forks, 45-7. It was at home, right?
It was at home, yep.
And you're at Columbus next week?
At Columbus next week, yeah. Yeah, Three Forks, they've really kind of turned the corner there because they, their football program wasn't real good. And at Coulter Miller, he's a great basketball player, but he was throwing darts last night. I was impressed with the young man.
(14-14) after Carroll burns a timeout with 5:46 to play. Second down and 12 back at the 5-yard line. The snap bobbled by Kaloy. He has to take off and run, and he's going to be dropped back at the 5. He did get back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, that's a tough play there because you take a timeout, you drop something that try to get some positive yardage, then you bobble the snap, and there's no opportunity even to run the play. So not the offense we're looking for here late in the game. You're tied at 5 deep in your own end of the field.
Now the shadow of the PE Center as it's 3rd and 12, 5:08 to play. 14-14 the score on the Bud Light scoreboard. Ferris out to the far right. I wonder if Troy Arnson may be nursing a little bit of an injury. He hasn't played receiver at all today. As Kaloy is going to lob it deep downfield, and it's incomplete. Intended for Sipes here on the near sideline, but coverage out there by Marquise Pereliat, and it'll be a punt for the Saints and field position for Linfield. Yeah. But Kvek, he's got the wind at his back. He's been able to unleash a couple of nice ones here with the wind at his back. Right. One in the second quarter, one in the fourth, and we'll see what he can do here with 4:53 to go. But he's standing about 2 yards in front of the back of the end zone. Good snap. Pretty decent punt. It'll be taken on a bounce by Corey Day back at the 45. Escapes one tackle. Now he's got a head of steam up across the 50 and tripped up there by Chase Bowen. That may have been a touchdown-saving tackle by Bowen at the 45-yard line of Carroll College.
Yeah, and an opportunity to pin him, not real deep, but in their side of the 50, and that's a gutsy play by the return man. He grabs the ball after going over his head and makes a couple Carroll defenders miss.
So Linfield, 4:41. They have all 3 timeouts, tied with Carroll at 14 apiece. Smith for the 1st and 10 at the Carroll 44. Seven on the play clock. He'll get it off plenty of time. Fake the handoff to Noli. Look, end zone. Deep downfield. And again, Ryan Boyd knocks it away at the last moment. Intended for Novak. And again, Bollier with his 4th pass breakup of the day.
Yeah, they run the fake in the backfield, and he delays boots and throws. But I tell you, Bollier has done a great job. Like I said earlier, he baits that receiver. He's right with him, and the minute he thinks the ball is arriving, he gets his head turned around and has batted it down again.
So 2nd and 10, 4:33 to play. This time Smith will hand it off to Noli. Waits for traffic to clear and gets up to the 40, a gain of 4 before he's brought down by Peyton Sexy.
Yeah, just heavy stretch there in the zone, and as the pile moves to the left, he waits and cuts it back for 5 or 6 yards.
Third down and 5, 4:05 to play. 14-14 your score on the Bud Light scoreboard. Smith with the play call. My guess would be definitely 4-down territory here for the Linfield. Maybe. But they've got Carroll's defense has to hold him here on 3rd and 5. Smith back to pass. Saints come with 5-man pressure. Smith has all day to throw. Good coverage downfield. He's going to roll and throw it out of bounds. Give that credit to the Saints defensive backs. Right. Galt, King, Madsen, and Bollier on that one.
Yeah, that's a coverage sack. Those guys staying with those receivers, and finally the defensive line seeing some breakdown in the offensive front. But kudos to that Carroll D. They've been out there a lot this half, and that is as potent offense as we've seen with Smith and those receivers, and Noli in the backfield. And
they're going to punt. Well, line up to punt anyway. A legitimate punt formation. Beaulier stands at his own 10. It's a high kick that is going to hit at the 10, and it rolls inside the 5-yard line, and Carroll with 95 yards to go in 3.5 minutes to break a 14-14 game. But again, the defense coming up big. They're not winning field position right now, but the defense right now the star of this game.
Yeah, they're giving this Carroll football team a chance to win the football game. They've been,
much like they did last week.
Yeah, short field, and held them to 3 and out again there. Carroll offense pinned deep in their own territory again. And the last series, a lot of mistakes there, delay and bobble snap, and just see if we can get something here and move the chains.
Grizz pulling away, leading 31-17 in the fourth at home over Drake. 14-all, 3:30 to go. Handoff, Major Ali at the 5. He'll get up to the 7. So second and long coming up for the Saints here.
And this is an area where that offensive line really needs to dig deep and know that, hey, we're going to run the football. We've got to figure out a way to get a first down here, and help our football team.
Southern Oregon leading College of Idaho 24-14 in the third quarter. Finally got a score update. How about that?
So they did play.
They did get that game going in Ashland. We're under 3 minutes to play here in a 14-14 ball game. Second down and 8 at the 7 for the Saints, their own 7. Kaloy, handoff Ali, and hit immediately and dropped.
By Chris Stinchcomb there from the backside. Yeah, he read the play, unblocked, just came down the line of scrimmage from the backside, and no opportunity at all for that zone play to work.
So 3rd and 8, 2:25 to go. Saints with 2 timeouts. Linfield has 3 remaining.
See what design we have here to try to get a first down.
They bring Dawson in motion. They're going to roll Kaloy out to the right. He'll throw maybe out of his own end zone and just dumps it off at the 10-yard line. A whole pile of players over on that far sideline. It'll be short of the first down, and Linfield's going to call timeout with 1:54 to go. And Carroll's going to have to punt again in a 14-14 ball game. But this fourth quarter has been all Linfield. As good as the Saints defense have been, and I just said it a few minutes ago, Linfield's been winning that field position battle, and it may pay off for them right here with just under 2 minutes to go and another punt coming up for the Saints.
Yeah, they sprinted out and just tried to find a sideline route, threw it late to Dawson. He was able to get a few more yards upfield and give you a little more room to punt the ball here. Not as deep as the last punt. So again, like you say, under 2 minutes to go, it's going to be some form of a short field, and that defense, because Carroll's going to rely on that defense to make another stop.
Well, while we have this moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You are listening to Carroll College football on Sports 94.9 at sports949.com.
KIMO HD 3000, K235 BW Helena, your home for the Saints. This is Sports 94.9.
Jason Walker, Tim Norbeck in the Century 21 Heritage Realty press box. 14-14 your score with 1:54 to play. Carroll with a 4th and 2 at their own 13, and they will punt it away. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. And Carroll's defense is going to have to hold Linfield again. They've been doing it for most of this fourth quarter. Linfield scored the tying touchdown with 11:39 to go, and since then they've won the field position battle. But Carroll's defense has won when it mattered as Kvek gets this one angled to the near sideline. It's going to roll out of bounds just across the 35. So 65 yards and 1:47 to go. I actually mark it at the 33. The ball was touched by the out of bounds by the ball boy at the 35. They mark it back even further, 2 yards.
He does have the angle, though, that field, Judge, so we're way up here. I know your eyes are good, but that's a good punt, though.
Great punt.
Considering where they were in their offensive end. So,
all right, so you got 147, 14-14. You've had real good success throwing the ball, somewhat success running the ball.
They're throwing here. Look who's in the
they've
backfield.
got Rule in the backfield with Wyatt Smith, the quarterback, and Rule, who has thrown for a touchdown and caught a touchdown to and from Smith. 1st and 10, Linfield, $1:47 to go.
Keep him in the block that time.
Pass downfield, Laswell, intercepted by Ryan Bollier. You were wondering when it was going to come. Bollier, the player of the game so far. 4 pass breakups and now an interception. That one, Tim, looked like it hung up in the air a little bit. Bollier playing underneath, pulls it down, and the Saints are in business now at the 35, and a chance to get the win with $1:39 to go and 2 timeouts.
That is an athletic play using his. He's got some height there, but his jumping ability to know at the last minute again, a peak jump at the peak of the ball was hung up a little bit, but he has played an exceptional game at that corner position. I mean, in all phases.
So the Saints were the 1st and 10 at their own 35. 1:39 to go. Kaloy back to pass. He'll look
wide
deep.
open.
Wide open. Joe Ferris. It's caught at the 25. Ferris at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Carroll College.
He's wide open. That's a blown coverage of some sort there. You saw it as well as I did, Jason, from up here. There's nobody within 10, 15 yards of them. They closed the angle a little bit because the ball's in the air for quite a while, but what a throw from Colby Kaloy. That ball was on the money. A couple broken tackle there to get into the end zone and take the lead here late in the game.
65-yard touchdown strike. Now Josh Kraft on. The only problem with that is that Carroll left 1:30 for Linfield to go down, as Kraft's extra point is good. 1:29 to go. Saints are up 21-14 on the Bud Light scoreboard. He got time to throw. They had a wide open Joe Ferris, his first touchdown, and the Saints take the lead 21-14.
Yeah, 24 seconds ago, we're punting from deep in our own territory, Jason, and we get a great punt. Carroll College gets a great punt at the 32-yard line, and Linfield comes out trying to throw. Ryan Bollier with a great pick and a lot of momentum and energy there. You saw on the sidelines after that interception and the first play. Coach Howlett and that staff draw up a deep play, and there's a blown coverage out there. We'll take that, and a great throw from Colby Kaloy.
You know, it's almost the same thing that Linfield was trying to do, get big yards right away on, after a great defensive stand, and then all of a sudden, boom, Carroll reverses it. They lead 21-14, and a chance to now hold, again, each team with 2 timeouts, but it is no longer a tie ball game. Linfield has to go the length of the field to tie it.
Right, and that's just going to energize that Carroll defense even more. They've played a good game. They've given up, some yardage and so forth, but they've played a lot of reps. We've talked about that in previous games, but they get the big interception. The offense turns around and scores right away for them. I guarantee you this defense is going to be fired up when they come out on the field.
They've been on the field for 81 plays today, which is more than the last 2 games where they were at 70 in each game. Josh Kraft will kick it away. Corey Day and Keegan Weiss back deep. 89 seconds to go. The Saints leading NCAA Division III Linfield 21-14. It's a short kick. It'll be taken by Day at the 15. Day is going to head to the far sideline, and he'll be tackled across the 25 to the 29. And so 71 yards for Linfield to tie it up.
That and 2 timeouts. College football, the ball stops on first down, so there's plenty of time to drive down. They've shown their ability to throw the ball deep as well. So let's see if we get another great series out of this Carroll defense.
There's 83 seconds left. 21-14 Carroll. 2 timeouts for both teams. The ball is at the 27-yard line officially, so 73 yards to go for a tie for sophomore Wyatt Smith. who's had a pretty good game today.
Although he's thrown in the backfield. And
3 interceptions, and Smith will roll out to his right. He'll come to Weiss on the sideline. It's caught. It's hauled in. At the 38, it's a first down, Linfield.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there, I think, with safety and corner there. Ryan playing a little bit soft.
1st and 10, 77 seconds to go. 21-14, Carroll leading Linfield here at Nelson Stadium. Smith is going to be dropped by Bo Meyer back at the 30-yard line.
That's going to force them to take a timeout. He hasn't done it yet. Coach Smith hasn't taken a timeout. Clock's running.
We're at 60 seconds to play. 21-14, Carroll. Smith quickly to the line.
Time off the clock there. That's not good clock management.
Back at the 30, a second down and 17. The pass complete on the far sideline to Weiss, driven out of bounds by Bernhardt at the 40, so it'll be 3rd and 8 with 45 seconds to play. Make it 3rd and 9.
And
Bernhardt down on the far sideline.
I don't know if it's a cramp or...
But the pass complete to Weiss. 45 seconds left. 21-14, Carroll leading on the Bud Light scoreboard.
Yeah, we'll give them a couple-yard gain on that and 20-some seconds off the clock. You know, usually after a big sack like that, if you have timeouts, you're going to use them, try to preserve, knowing you can use the sidelines and first downs to stop the clock. So we'll see if that affects them as they try to move into scoring position.
And again, they need a touchdown to tie. Touchdown, an extra point. The touchdown, a 2-point conversion would give them the victory or the lead. As Bernhardt up on his own. And he's going to, if he's smart, he'll take his time to get across the field to give Carroll's defense a chance to catch a breather here. And he's running off. Little limp, but he'll be okay. As Kevick checks in for Bernhardt. So, 3rd and 8. The ball's at the Linfield 40. 45 seconds on the clock. 21-14, Carroll College looking for the upset of the 6th-ranked team in NCAA Division III, Linfield.
Yeah, and Carroll's defense has to be careful. We talked about a rule in the backfield, and any of that delay action from him has been positive for the Wildcats.
Smith from the gun. He's got Rule in the backfield. He'll drop back to pass. He'll throw, looking for Laswell on the sideline. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 8. He threw into double coverage. King and Galt out there. Laswell comes up limping. King slow to get up. He's okay. Laswell heading. He just threw his helmet on the far sideline and hopped up on the trainer's table.
Yeah, he's hurting, and he's one of their top receivers.
He's the top receiver coming into this ball game. 4th and 8.
So we got timeout, it looks like. I think Coach Van Diest, that's a good use of the timeout. I'll give yourself an opportunity to figure out what kind of defensive scheme you want to use. I know some people say, no, you're giving the offense a chance, but he just wants to make sure he has the right call here at 4th and long.
Don't forget to join us, along with head coach Mike Van Diest, Monday, Muni Sports Bar and Grill, Bill Roberts Golf Course, the Fighting Saints Sports Zone. We'll break down this game, preview next week's game on the road at Northern, and get an update on all Saints sports. It's Monday nights, the Muni Sports Bar and Grill at Bill Roberts Golf Course. Food fun begins at 6, the Fighting Saints Sports Zone on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com. 21-14, Carroll in the lead, 40 seconds to go. The difference right now, 65-yard touchdown strike from Colby Colloy to Joe Ferris after the Ryan Bollier interception. Set up Carroll after Linfield's had won the field position battle all 4th quarter. And then Wyatt Smith threw his 3rd interception of the day. And Ryan Bollier, who's honestly my player of the game, if we were picking one, I give it to Bollier.
Give him more than player of the game. He has really performed at a high level today.
All right, here's the ball game. 4th and 8, back at the 40. 40 seconds to go. 21-14 Carroll. Defense needs one more stop, and the Saints could get into victory formation. Smith Up to the line, now he backs up. 4th and 8, here we go.
Watch Rule here.
Here's the snap. Looking far sideline. It's incomplete.
Out of bounds.
It is incomplete, and Carroll College is going to get the upset.
They got 2 timeouts, but that's not going to be enough here. Third snap will take that 40-second clock down. So,
wow. Carroll College is going to come in and get the victory over the NCAA Division III power Linfield.
32-year demon gone. I like it.
There you go. Yeah, this one's for you, I'm sure. Coach will say that to you. He'll say that on Monday.
For this effort by this Carroll College football team.
Oh, he'll tell you Monday. This one's for you. They had to get one back.
24-second span. You're deep in your own end zone. You have to punt. You get a good punt, a pick, a big play, and all of a sudden you are going to win against a great program. After an 0-2 start, I know we get the one forfeit, but you know, kudos to those football players. Kudos to that coaching staff. You know, they've you know, didn't score or whatever, you know, in the first 2 games. So, and to beat a quality opponent, it's going to make the rest of the Frontier think again about this Carroll College Fighting Saint football team.
Your final score from Nelson Stadium on the Bud Light scoreboard: Carroll College 21, 6th ranked Linfield of Division III 14. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the post-game show in a moment. You're listening to Carroll College football on Sports 94.9 and Sports949.com.
This is John Lager, Christmas Century 21. I just received my awards for last year's efforts, an award for production and one for customer satisfaction. I'm very proud of receiving these awards each year since I started in business. Also, I'm very proud of our office and the awards that we have received. We named the Century 21 President's Award 12 times out of the last 14 years. This award is given for 95% customer satisfaction and production in the top 5% of all Century 21 offices. If you want to experience that level of relentless excellence, give me, John Lager, Mr. Collin,